1. Donnell. We're live. So good to see you.
Okay, this is not the cough that people expect to come from me.
This is just a weed cough. Donnell has not been tested. He will be tested today
man.
at the end of the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm not worried.
But you ain't got to blow it up like that, son. Give me a chance to explain.
I'm not worried.
Give me a chance. And I
healthy.
understand. I haven't, but I have subscribed. 6 feet. I have my measure. I have subscribed to
Social distancing.
social distancing
All of
100%. But the new normal. The new
Is he on
normal.
camera? Should we move over a little bit?
The new normal. And the new normal. And this had nothing to do with you, Joe. But just this, I'm just saying this. It ain't. I'm protected, possibly protecting myself from me
Right.
to you.
Okay.
And I love you.
I
and
love
I
you
know
too.
that we have a certain amount of trust factor. But this 19 shit is kind of deadening how trustworthy you are to somebody.
Man,
what do you think?
First of all, I think what's really important for everybody right now is to strengthen your immune system. First of all, can I tell you something?
Yo,
you
bro,
look good. You look
thank
like you lost weight.
Thank you.
Have
Maybe
you
like
lost
5
weight?
pounds.
Yeah, your
but I
face.
feel good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Should I?
You don't take that fucking thing off.
All right, well, I knew motherfuckers that eat elks don't give a fuck about no. Yo, once you eat elk, you don't give a fuck about no COVID.
Well, that's one thing is like eating well, eat healthy, take vitamins. This is what you need to take for sure. Vitamin C, large doses of vitamin C,
Right.
vitamin D, and zinc. Those are very important right now.
Right.
And just for
Zinc gets you isn't zinc an aphrodisiac also?
yes, it's good for loads.
So you can get your immune system up and get everything up.
Well,
at the
that's
same-
all connected to your body being healthy. You know,
Right.
the more vital your body is, the more vitality you have.
Right.
You know, the more everything's going to work better. Your hormones, your immune system, everything. So those are things that I recommend to everybody.
But nobody's thinking about that, Joe.
Oh, you got to. That's
No,
everything.
I'm saying you have to, but nobody is thinking about that. Like everybody is like so afraid, COVID. But I personally think that you should be more afraid of catching a cold and the flu than getting COVID-19.
I think you should be afraid of COVID-19, but you should also be afraid of catching the flu.
Right.
You know, it's all of it's bad. All
Right.
of it's bad. You know, it's not good to be sick. But when you protect your immune system and keep your body healthy and strong, it definitely, it's like you have troops, all right? You got to think of the virus as like an invading army.
100%.
Like all these viruses. And apparently that Lex Friedman quote, what was it? How many different viruses are there? Hundreds of thousands that are constantly competing? Like he was describing it, this genius Russian scientist that I have on the podcast
He was like
sometimes.
specifically the COVID virus?
Well, he's talking about all viruses
viruses,
in
period.
general. He's saying
And
it's like
what-
a world war out there of viruses.
But what I hear in when it comes to it being a world war, I've heard that
Here
the
it
COVID.
is. Look at this guy wrote. There's 320,000 plus distinct viruses in mammals and 100 million invertebrates, and plants. There's an epic microscopic world war going on all around us and inside us. Nature is beautiful and terrifying. And then he
So
posts a sword.
why is this one getting the headlines?
Well,
if that's the case, why is this getting headlines?
New. It's a novel coronavirus, meaning no one has an immune system for it. No one has developed immunity. You know, when you think about other diseases like the common cold or, you know, different flus, like we've had flus. People have a certain amount of immunity to flu. You get flu shots. You can get a flu shot. It gives you an immunity to a certain amount. Even when they get the flu shot wrong, apparently, because sometimes they guess the wrong flu strain, it still has enough of what a flu is to protect you somewhat, so to keep you from getting more sick.
So
than you
corona
could
is
get sick.
actually a strand of, it's like the baby brother of the flu?
Not really. It's a type of virus. A coronavirus is a whole category of viruses that includes the common cold. This is, they call it SARS-2 or COVID-19.
Right.
And this is a new one. So then the problem with this is no one knows how it gets spread. Like even back as far as January, they were thinking it didn't spread through the air. They were thinking
Right, so
it
it's
didn't
not,
spread person to person.
and I know this might be some ignorant questions, but I know a
No,
lot
it's
of
not,
ignorant
no
people.
ignorance, man. It's not ignorance. None of us really know. It's we're learning.
So, is that with the, like you said, I think what people are fearful of the most, if it's airborne.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if that is the specific reason why they're enforcing wearing masks or whatever.
Yes, that is
And
why.
I don't know if we've got to that panic stage. And I know none of the people have announced it or anything, but it hasn't been classified as a virus that's airborne. Like, it doesn't just fly around shit all day.
Well, when a virus is airborne, what it means is, like, when you sneeze or you cough or you breathe on someone, there's moisture that's going through your mouth and into the air, and it's spreading, it's traveling a certain amount of distance. Right. That's how things are airborne. It's not like they're just flying around. It's they're coming out of people and they're getting in other people.
So the average space a motherfucker can spit some shit is 6 feet before it can affect you?
There's a lot of theories. Some people think it could be as much as 13 feet.
Really?
Yeah, they don't know. It's all guesswork. They're learning as they go along how far, but they do know it travels through the air. They definitely know that. There was a really sad story about a choir that got together, and
Black.
I don't know. I don't know. They didn't say. I don't.
How many people
believe.
died? A choir?
A couple people died because they were all singing together. And when you're singing together, you're raising your voice, and you're projecting, so probably like filling the air with all this stuff.
It's just interesting, man, because everybody, all you hear people say is like, I can't wait for it to get back to normal again. I can't wear it. People, and I think that people want to have enough confidence in the government or Donald Trump I think some people are just waiting for him to say, okay, we're good, it's over. And that's not going to be the case.
No.
It'll never be like,
Charlemagne posted something on his Instagram.
I don't fuck with Charlemagne, son. Was it a booty picture?
No, it wasn't a
was
booty
it a booty
picture.
picture?
No.
Was it a picture of him kissing tongue kissing Malik Yoba?
Could
son?
you go to Charlemagne's
Do you know that's
Instagram?
son? You know you can't bring that name up around me, son.
You guys love each other.
Oh
It's
my
okay.
God, booty. Can you introduce this with some booty music at least, son? You just started a fucking fight.
I didn't. What he posted.
Oh my God. And his name is Leonard, Joe.
Okay.
All
Charlemagne is a great name.
Oh, yeah, but the God part is the thing I would never connect with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's he can get away with it somehow. Leonard, he even says that. But if you go to his Instagram, there's something he posted about the Spanish flu.
Why you ain't go to the one I posted about here? Oh, that's my. But go ahead. And Spanish flu. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What do you see? Do you know which one it is?
No, it's a photograph. I think. God damn it! Am I wrong? I was pretty sure.
What about
it was
that
him.
one of Charlemagne? You don't want to show that one. What about this? Nah, that's the one you know. I don't know that Charlemagne. I know that motherfucker with them yellow Richard Simmons booty shorts.
But
That's
before
the Charlemagne I
we
know.
lose track of what we're talking
All right,
about.
and I promise I won't interrupt it. I know. No, I'm just saying, Joe.
I know you guys.
I'm trying my hardest not to interrupt, man, but I can't stand them booty shorts. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Maybe it wasn't his. I swore I did not bring this up just to
No,
start
it
some
seemed like
shit.
you set me up.
No,
bruh.
I did not. I would never do that. I would never do that. I only did it because whoever, I thought it was him. Someone posted, maybe he did it on Twitter, I don't know. Someone posted something that was a picture of these people that got tired of social distancing after the 1918 flu.
Right.
And they were out in the streets celebrating the end of the war. And they said that started a resurge in cases, and the second wave wound up killing more people than died in the war.
And you know who those people were?
Young men, a lot of
No,
them.
they was motherfuckers that was in fucked up relationships. Joe, if Corona don't test anything, it's going to test the love that you have for the person that you're supposed to love.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure, like, nobody wants to die. Right?
Right.
Definitely nobody wants to die, right? But sometimes motherfucker dating some bitches that, you know what?
You finding out if you made a mistake
You made
now.
a mistake, but you start, and I hope this is not the case with people, you start weighing it. You're oh, fuck, man, I swear.
Well, women with men, too, man. Imagine living with a guy who's falling apart right now.
Falling apart, and the health-wise or just mentally in their life?
Just like if you're together in a house 24/7,
right?
And you're falling apart as far as like the way you're handling this. Like some people can just accept, okay, this is a new normal. This is what there's people running around.
So you talking about
right
the
now,
bitch
fuck
mother?
this, open the fucking government back up.
Right.
There's people that are freaking out right now.
Right.
And there's people that have points and there's people that don't have points, but men and women. Like, everybody's a mess right now.
But you know, you're absolutely right. And this is where, and I know you're a guy that, you're a fan of David. You know what I'm saying?
Love him.
David Goggins.
Oh, love him
You know
too.
what I'm saying? Like I agree with you. Like you have different mindsets when something like this happens.
Yeah.
You have the mindset of like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get money? Fuck. Oh my God.
Right.
I only can survive off of 1 week. Somebody please help me.
Yes.
You got that motherfucker, the bitch motherfucker. Then you got a motherfucker that's calm and says, okay, there will be some challenges. I'm not sure where the next money's gonna come from, but I can't just sit there and bitch about it. I got to do something about it.
You got to do something about it.
Like you say, and one of the things that what's gonna happen with this, it's gonna increase awareness on so many fucking levels. Because they do these COVID fucking briefs every day, right? And there's 3 things they say is gonna really fuck you up if you do: drugs, alcohol. And it's another one, drugs. Obesity, drugs, and alcohol.
They said obesity was the number one factor in New York City.
And this is the thing. And this is what they don't report. And I'm not shitting on anybody, you know. God bless. I mean, hopefully nobody I know gets it, or just I don't want shit to happen anyway. But this is what they don't mention when they say these numbers, you know. And it's crazy. I ain't trying to be an asshole. 500 people died today. They don't break it down. Is it 500 Joe Rogan niggas? Is it 500 David Goggins niggas? No, you know what it is.
It is, but sometimes it's not. That's what's scary about this shit.
I know sometimes it's not, but we do know, Joe, that it contributes.
Yes.
It has a major factor in it.
It's a major factor, and people need to know that it's a major factor and stop saving their feelings.
Yeah.
Just letting them know as a fact.
Yeah. Some fat motherfuckers is dying of COVID.
Yes, and sometimes like when you're just talking shit about someone being fat.
I saw a motherfucker on the internet, Joe. This nigga was live with a ventilator, right? He sounded like Biggie Smalls. He was like, I'm letting y'all know this is serious. Nigga, yes, it's serious. You know what else is serious too? Those 10 pieces of chicken, that extra sweet tea, that motherfucking potato salad with mayonnaise and mayonnaise and mayonnaise and mayonnaise. All of that shit is important. All of it is relevant.
All of it's relevant.
All of it is fucking relevant.
It's delicious food, but you know what you're doing when you're eating it.
when
you drink something that's like, you know why you're drinking it. Like if you drink it like a regular Coca-Cola,
right?
It's goddamn delicious.
But you know you're gonna pay for it.
You know what you're doing though.
It's like Fram oil filters. You can pay me now or you can pay me later. That's one of my shop teachers used to tell me that all the time. He'd be like, I was a fuck up in school, right? And he'd be like, Donnell, I'd be fucked. He'd be like, Donnell, listen, my lessons are like Fram oil filters. You could pay me now or you could pay me later. I was young and dumb. When you're young and dumb, you don't know what wisdom is. You're like, this old motherfucker need to shut the fuck up. I didn't know what he meant until those lessons he tried to teach me then. As I got older, I was like, now I know what the fuck he's talking about. You could pay me $2 for this air filter now or $3,000 for a whole new transmission.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that.
That's a way of looking at it for sure. But with the problem with people's bodies and like what they put into them is they get this connection in their head that this is rewarding them, that food is rewarding them.
That's sugar.
Yeah,
right.
It's sugar. It's a trap. It's sugar and it's carbohydrates.
Black people, we've been trapped for so long, bro.
Well,
no, more than you. Black
yeah.
people, you go to any black person's house, you're gonna have sugar in the cabinet and salt. Right? You go to a white person's house, you have oregano, like you have thyme, you have rosemary and shit. You be like, where the fuck is the sugars? Where's the salts?
But you cook, right?
Yeah, I do.
Do you like? Are you big into spices? Do you know your
I'm
spices?
not big. I know my spices, but one of the things that I'm trying to do, and not like Heather B, because Heather B is a good friend of mine, right? And she just everything is fried, right? What I want to do, and I get impressed, is trying to cook cleaner. And for a black person, telling a black person to eat clean is like, ugh, that shit nasty.
Do you get your health work done? Do you get like blood work done to see where your body's at?
I don't know where my COVID shit is right now.
They're gonna come here.
Why you looking? Goddamn, you like who's gonna administer?
I thought you'd
the
had
test.
A test.
Is it gonna be
a nurse?
Charlemagne, as long as it's not Charlemagne.
You can't fly here from New York City. They won't let you.
And I want to know, and that's another thing that's like, that's a drawback of this whole process. Like, who has access to a test?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
who has access to a test? There's a whole line outside. If you go, there's like a bunch of these stations they've set up all around the valley, where you can pull in and they'll give you a test. So
but is that something that the government's paying for as part of your insurance?
I don't know. It's a good question. Jamie, do you know?
The ones I saw before, you need like a doctor's prescription.
But eventually, they're going to have to be able to. Eventually, it's going to have to be.
It should be
accessible to everybody.
It should be free.
Right.
It should be. Look, if we're going to spend money on anything, we should spend money on that. Like,
right.
God damn. Like the idea that you're going to make people pay for that. You can't.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you can't. This is a thing that's happening right now. It's almost like. There's a lot of dangerous shit that happens when things go into chaos because there's people that take advantage of those moments and they
people
use
get rich.
People get rich, but more importantly, laws get passed because people are scared. And those laws can like be, they could sneak something in where they ban encryption, or they sneak something in where they stop digital currencies that aren't controlled by certain companies. They can sneak weird shit in while people are freaking out. 24-hour surveillance because we want to make sure that people don't loot and riot. The weird shit can happen that can erode your civil liberties when things get chaotic.
Different. Change.
This is a weird time, you know, but this is where we live. This is life right now. You just got to accept that.
Do you think something like this had to happen for people to put real family values and what's important in perspective? Do you believe, like we talked about it off, like, and I'm like, I'm a religious person to the extent that I know that it is something that makes people feel good about.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, but then you have those holy, holy, holy people that celebrate God on one level, but then when something like this happens, they don't understand that if you believe that God can fix anything, it's going to take you to the promised land. You got to believe that He had to be part of the narrative of this curse.
I think it's how much responsibility you put on yourself and how much responsibility, even if you believe in God, you put on that. Like, you got to do some work yourself, too. Like, even if you believe in God, don't get so fat that you're going to die.
You got to...
Yeah, don't do that. Don't let yourself do that. Start drinking water. Just exercise. Stop eating as much sugar. You can do it.
Joe,
I
tell motherfuckers all the fucking time, you got to fucking help God.
Help him.
You got to help him. You can't just be like, oh, shit, God, I hope I don't get diabetes. Let me get the cotton candy. Let me get the extra sweet tea. Let me get the funnel cake. You can't do that.
Right. You're right. You can't. Shouldn't. If you do, you're doing a disservice to the gift of life. You know how many people out there in wheelchairs, they're born with horrible, debilitating diseases. They can't do shit. People that have been in accidents, people that have been blown up in war, they can't even move around. And here you are taking a perfectly good body and just dumping bullshit into it while it just explodes. And I understand that people get addicted to things. You get addicted to that feeling of the rush of eating. But you got to get yourself off of it. You got to figure out a way to live your life better. It can be done. Other people have done it. You can do it too. The idea that you can't do it is stupid.
You know, you just gave me a thought, and the reason why sometimes I interrupt because I know I got ADD, right? And if I don't get my thought out in that second, I'll fucking forget about it.
I get it.
And
you're just sensitive to interrupting now after the RZA
No,
podcast.
son, I'm not sensitive. I'm sensitive to your fucking fans because them niggas is nasty to me, son.
No,
not in a bad way. But
people love you.
Yeah, they love me, but they gotta get to know me.
Listen, man, I knew you were gonna be you, and I really enjoyed meeting RZA. He's a fascinating dude. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a genius. He's a really interesting guy. But it was funny to watch.
The funniest thing, I'm going to tell you the funny thing about it, and I haven't said this. I was like this, I'm going to do Rogan. People are like, what you going to talk about? I was like, nigga, I'm just going to talk about, I felt like we had so much to talk about, right?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I owe anybody an apology or anything, but I would like to give an explanation.
Please don't. You're great. You're just being you.
They hated me though, Joe.
No.
Joe, that's easy for you to say. They fucking hated me, Joe.
Incorrect.
Joe, they fucking hated me, Joe. Don't try to tone it down.
The people
they
that
didn't
commented that you read hate you. You can't say they hated you. There's so many people.
I don't give a fuck about the people that love me.
I know.
Nobody cares about that person. I already got them in the bag, bro. I don't give a fuck. I love you. Fuck you. Who's an asshole? You know, it was.
You can never get to a 0% point. You can never get to a no haters point. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. I just need to break it down just a little bit. Listen, because you said they weren't mad at you. This is how you
Some of them were mad.
A lot of them were mad.
You're reading too many of the comments.
And you did when we left. And this was before COVID-19 when we would embrace. When I see you, I hug. And the irony of that interview was at the end of it, you and I were feeling good about it.
I loved it.
Yo, I loved it. Listen, bro, I loved it like a motherfucker. So I damn near tongue kissed you. Pause. No Charlemagne. No Charlemagne. Yo, you embraced me because you said, I remember what you said. You said at the end of it, because that's when RZA did the freestyle or whatever at the end. And you said, and hearing you say this means a lot. You said that might be one of the greatest outros in podcast history.
100%.
Coming from a motherfucker that's 1,200 plus, you just seen it all, right? And I was like, you right. And we hugged. And I do remember you telling me this too. Don't read the comments, right? I'm hard-headed, son. Ride or die. And I was like, and I'm looking at you like, what the fuck do you mean, Joe? The streets love me. Man, I had a good run, and I didn't read. Listen, let me tell you something, Joe. You said don't read the comments. I know this might be excessive, but I think I only read 2,782.
Oh, my God.
Right? And it was nice. And then they started using words that only the vocabulary of a real podcaster, cringe.
Like what words?
The word cringe.
Oh, cringe.
Just straight cringe. Like, I need a little bit more information. What the fuck is your definition of cringe? They was like, cringe. Motherfucker said, and this is the real assholes, they didn't want anybody to get to know me or anything. They was telling people exactly where on the timeline to find the disgust they had. They'd be like, I almost fucking killed myself at 1738. Okay, can a motherfucker get 16 minutes? Before we get there,
now I'm telling you, you can't pay attention to that.
Yo,
you just got to be you. You're great. You're
Joe,
great.
Joe, that's easy for you to say, Joe. Yo, how many years did it take you to just be you and comfortable like this? And the reason why I'm saying that, when you first started, right? And not that, and the birth of my podcast was because of that. When you first started, I know, as calm as your demeanor is right now, and as comfortable, and I may be wrong, as comfortable of saying, fuck them, don't worry about them, I know that could not have been your beginning. You had to have had, and I may be wrong, you had to like, okay, why did that person say that? What do they mean by that?
Donnell, I think I have brain damage.
From what?
From getting hit in the head. And I don't think I worry about the same things that people worry about.
Right. You're absolutely right, because
that's a real possibility, right? You know me. That might be real, right? There might be something going on there. But it's also, I had
your
that
whole
Fear
career,
Factor money, and then I just wanted to do stand-up. And I was free.
So you had, boom, you had
I don't buy a lot of shit. I don't go crazy. I like cars. That's my only addiction.
Right.
But I'm not, when I did something like Fear Factor and making some money, it gave me this freedom to now to not worry about ever doing that again.
But you always have been of that mindset.
Yeah, but it reinforced it. It just things like that reinforce it. Like having like a savings in the bank is nice, but also doing what you want to do is nice too. Like one of the things that I learned from Fear Factor,
I'm gonna tell you what I learned
is that I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
I don't want to do that kind of stuff anymore.
And you know what? I don't want to be premature of it, but I consider you my podcast mentor. You know what I'm saying? But not being into it too early. But you made me feel that type of confidence in terms of controlling your own destiny, being in control of your own shit, and this is what you want to do. Because I've talked to you about every time I get an idea, I hit you. I'm like, what do you think about this? It's a TV show. And you told me, like, I was excited about this idea I had. And you were like, the podcast, bro. You control that.
You're you, right?
Right.
Like, you're you at your best when you're just having fun, being you. And no one's going to allow you to do that. These
100%.
Producers are going to get greasy. They're going to get their greasy hands on you, and they're going to try to do this or get you to wear that or don't talk about this. Or, Donnell, if you could just lay back here and just let... There's a bunch of people directing you. You're not going to get to who you really are.
Right.
You got to do it by yourself. And also...
Where'd you find that? I ain't trying to interview you in your own show, but when did you feel that?
I just knew that.
Because I saw a Tom Green interview you did.
Yeah.
And this was like, I don't know if this was considered the birth, because this was when the technology, the whole thing, and you were like breaking it. It was weird for me to hear you breaking down the future of it
Yeah.
to somebody that was actually doing it. And you said you got to figure out, this is important, how do you make money off of it?
How do you make money off it? Yeah.
Right.
But you also got to keep it the way it is where no one was fucking with it. When I went to Tom Green's house, he just had these wires. Like, this is 2007,
And when
so it
I
wasn't
realized that
sophisticated
time lane,
back
I'm like,
then.
what the fuck? They going live? How the fuck?
He was live, and
That was dial-up.
Not only was it people had cable and they had ISDN lines. And 2007 was like there's a lot of people had cable. It wasn't near the bandwidth that you got now. But he had all the servers and everything in his house. He had turned his house. He had this dope house in the hills, and he had turned this house into a TV studio. His living room wasn't a living room anymore. It had a desk. It had monitors behind it, and all this was like these big fat fucking cables.
So that was a
ran
show
through-
after Canada, the Canadian show?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did this all on his own. And I had actually met with the company. I met them in the Denver Comedy Works and talked to them a little bit about doing something similar. But I was like, my thought was like, as soon as you start doing it with a company, now you're doing the same thing again. You're just
don't
doing
want them to say, "Don't want you to say this."
online. Yeah,
Right.
you're just doing it online. There's different kinds of people, and it's not a value judgment, but there's different kinds of people. There's wild, creative people, and then there's studio executives. Studio executives are the people that have to look at these wild, creative people and go, how do I make sure that Donnell doesn't go crazy? I'm going to put him on this show.
That's why I'm not on a regular TV show.
We're going to bring. He says
Damn it.
he gets too wild. We got to bring him
He
down.
said son too much.
We gotta keep him on the commercials have to come in 7 minutes. He has to be ready to make that break. They'll say, look, we've got numbers, Donnell, that shows when you start talking about this, people get upset and they tune off.
Right.
But if you just talk about this, we're better. So we've written you some talking points, and they'll bring you some shit. Look, we're not writing for you. We're just giving you some
And you're
stuff
like,
to play
what the
with.
fuck is this? But I
Exactly.
do need the money.
And then you have to have a meeting, and Debbie's going to pull you into the office and go, Donnell, I just don't think you respect me. Okay,
Right.
we have to work together. I'm your executive producer. I'm here to put this show together. You have to work with me.
And
okay?
I don't want to, I would love to work with you, but I don't want to, because you don't respect the fact that you don't respect what I'm doing. So how the fuck do you get to respect?
Listen, the wild, creative people, it doesn't always work out. Like sometimes it doesn't pan out. A podcast doesn't pan out or a TV show doesn't pan out, but at least they have a chance.
Right.
Like you can't have a podcast like yours. Yours is a perfect example. You're just you. Because
Right.
a lot of it is just you ranting into the camera about shit. You can't, no one would ever let you do it that way and let it build an organic audience.
And that's why when you were trying to tell me the beauty of it, I wasn't understanding. Because another reason I wanted to understand, I was like, all right, motherfucker, when do the money kick in? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that.
Yeah.
And you was like, yeah, Donnell is going to be one. I was like this. All right, what number do I hit when I start getting the money?
Genuinely, they say it's like when you start getting, I think it's like 100,000 downloads.
Right.
That's when advertisers become interested in you because
Yeah.
that's legitimate. That's 100,000 people. And as long as you pick your products carefully, I definitely did.
I'm good, man. Right now, I'm come dick pills.
Mine was the Fleshlight was the first one.
Flashlight?
Fleshlight.
What's the flashlight?
The Fleshlight is a fake pussy that comes.
I'll
it looks
take
like
that.
a flashlight.
Are they still in
Oh, yeah,
business?
they're still in
Yo, the
business.
Donnell Rawlings Show. And I want y'all to pay me for that one right now. Let's do some fucking business.
They'll do some business with you, I bet. If they still do podcasts, do they do anymore? Well, that's how I met my friend Aubrey when we started on it together. He was running this rubber pussy business.
Yo, you got to get it. I'm going to tell you, the corona have you want to sell anything. Because I'm going to tell you, and I agree with what you said, and I was like, I wasn't concerned. I wasn't thinking about when am I going to make the money of the podcast. First thing I was thinking about, can I do a good podcast? You told me the most important thing is the consistency of it.
Yes.
You got to get the reps in. Motherfucker, you got a good podcast and don't come out for
You got
another
to
5
make
weeks.
people look forward to it.
Yeah.
So if you do it every week, once a week, twice a week, whatever you're doing, then people are like, there's a bunch of podcasts that I subscribe to that they come out on Monday. I look forward to Monday.
Right.
Look forward to checking my phone. All right, I got a new episode. I'm in it as a fan as much as I'm in it as someone who does it.
Yeah, I mean, You pushed me on. You talk shit to me. You didn't. People think you inspire me. You was talking shit to me, and I was trying to figure out
how to motivate you.
I knew it. I was like, man, if I see this
You're too good.
I was like, if I see this motherfucker one time in the comedy store, and he cracks his motherfucking neck and look me in my face and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like this. I had that shut up factor. But going to it.
But I knew I was right. I knew I was like, Donnell, what the fuck are you doing?
I knew you was right, but I was scared, son.
I know, but look, it worked.
It worked.
Yay.
And I was scared. Yeah,
It's
boom, 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 boom,
moving.
boom. But, and I feel.
Look at you. You even have your own mask.
That's my son's hair right there, son.
Oh, Jesus.
That's my son. And just speaking of that.
Show us, everybody your mask, though. The mask is hilarious.
Yeah.
This is the Donnell Rawlings Show.
Oh,
COVID
we got
mask.
merchandise for y'all punk motherfuckers now. This is the.
What does it say on it?
Hold on, wait a minute. What does it say? It says, hold on. It says the Donnell Rawlings Show on one side. What is that? What side?
Right. The other side.
Oh, Donnell Rawlings
And
Show.
the other side it says, not today, Rona.
Not today, Rona. It won't happen today. And if you see, look, all right, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I didn't
What
want
do you do with your son's
Yo,
hair?
I'm gonna tell you what happens, son. This is a tough time for everybody. Nobody want to take their hat off, right? And I've been feeling it, right? And I was like, well, never act in Hollywood again if I do this, right? So I started going. You'll see. I ain't embarrassed. I got the motherfucking sunroof.
Dude, I got a sunroof.
No, I got a sunroof.
Look at this, man. This is a sunroof.
Yo, but your sunroof making $50 million a year. This is not the same roof. You know what I'm saying? This is a hoopty roof right here. So I cut my son's hair, right? And I was like, oh shit, what can I do, right? He saw his hair, he was like, So I said, I'm gonna fuck around. I take it to the show, and I'm gonna get a glue stick and put it on my head just for fun. He thought it would be funny, and I showed him this podcast the other day. And he got excited about it. But the thing I like about me having that hair, it smells like him. So it's like a little souvenir. And right there, you know what, Joe, I don't want to feel like I'm CVS or anything right now, but I want to say, we all know when it comes to corona, there's certain things that go before you know if you have corona or you kind of feel it.
Right.
Your sense of smell and your sense of taste. That's why, Joe, you're not going to believe this, right? I came up with a one-of-a-kind. This is a specific to me. It's the Donnell Rawlings Show.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you're familiar with a smell called black ice. Black ice? Do you know what black ice is?
No.
You don't know what black ice is?
I don't know. I wouldn't lie to you.
No, you don't really know what the
ice?
black ice air freshener is.
I don't think so. Do you know what it is?
You don't know. Okay, I bet you this, you'll know this.
I mean,
all right, you know
for a car?
All right, you know this one. You know the Royal Pine air freshener, right?
Yeah, those little trees.
That's the white one. Yes. You racist motherfucker, son, yo. Is there another color?
So let me just tell you right off the bat.
Oh my God.
Listen, I'm a car freak.
Right.
I hate air fresheners.
Right, I got you.
I don't like them.
Right.
I want to smell car. I want to smell.
It's not about.
I want to smell gasoline and
It's
leather.
not about your
and
car.
Carpet.
It's not about your car. Like you've not been into a Cadillac, a black owned Cadillac. You've never had a ride with Snoop Dogg or any of the hip hop dudes, right?
No.
That's
I
like
haven't.
in the culture, black ice. It's just the smell.
You always have to have it in your car.
If you want to get some pussy back in the day, you know what I'm
Car
saying?
had to smell right.
Yo, Joe, I'm not bullshitting. So
there it is. Oh my God, it's a tree though.
Yeah, it's a tree. It's the
It's
same thing.
shit.
It's the same
Come
thing
on.
as the white man's air
The shape of
freshener.
the thing.
It's the same shape.
It's the Black Lives Matter of air fresheners, Joe.
It is hilarious though. They pretend, look, it's like a tree made out of chemicals.
But Joe-
Oh, it's like the woods.
Joe, I don't want to distract, but getting back to the
please.
candle, this is the Donnell Rawlings candle, right? And I want
You got a candle? Let me see that shit.
All right, check it out. And one of my Whitney Cummings has one. Angela Yee had one. Check it out. Tell me what you think.
Oh, that smells good.
Jamie. So you know what? Now let me smell it. It smells. See, that's another thing. This candle helps you during Corona. Like you burn that candle, and the minute you don't smell it, nigga, go get a test. But more importantly, Joe, could you read the description? Could you read the description and the ingredients in it?
This shit back here?
Yes, sir.
I gotta get my
Get your glasses, man.
I have it on the screen if you can read that better.
Yeah,
maybe.
much better. There
right.
you go. From Marcy Projects to Hollywood, Donnell captured 6 true smells oils, going from ashy to classy. Breathe in the memories of cold air hitting your skin on a winter's day. Shades of your skin getting ashier and ashier as the brisk wind hit your arms and ankles. Capture the energy of a good lotion without having it. Black ash eliminates the smell of twerk and replaces it with its exotic smells.
The ingredients, Joe.
I don't know what the first one. What is that?
Bergamot?
Bergamot? What is that? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Jamie?
Bergamot? We don't.
Sandalwood, I've heard of that. Musk. Elon. Lavender, jasmine, and
ambergris.
Ambergris?
Ambergris. Ambergris.
Do you know what that is?
And this, ambergris. This is where, because I have a really professional person that does these candles, right? Ambergris, and I was talking to somebody that's really a health nut into raw stuff. Ambergris. This is what I heard. Ambergris was at first. It was sperm from a whale. I knew you was gonna get excited about this. Even when I thought about it, this is what I heard first. It was sperm from a whale that they mined for, right? But come to find out, it wasn't. I thought it was. I was like, oh shit, my candle got a whale nut, right? But it's not that. It's the byproduct of an actual sperm whale.
Do you know when you see
but no
Red
cruelty,
Bulls?
no cruelty,
no cruelty.
That's the most
How'd
important.
they get the load out of the whale without being cruel?
See, that's when the story started to start. That's when the story got flaky. You know what I mean? I needed to know more. I was like, who was jerking the whale?
60,000. What? You fucking pop-up ads, you son of a bitch.
It's not even an ad.
What is it?
Goddamn email thing.
Oh, you have to give them an email?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
I know you got somewhere else on it because
No, what I was going to say is that Red Bull, we found out that Red Bull's made with taurine, and the original source of taurine, they used to get it from bull testicles.
Really?
They were bull nuts, yeah. Like Hitler apparently was into taurine. And he
bull
would-
nuts.
Yeah, it's like some form of testosterone or something, or some form of stimulant.
Why anything that has something to do with sperm, it feels like it's supposed to give you super strength or something.
People are silly. Ambergris, how to tell if you've struck gold with the whale vomit or stumbled upon sewage. Oh, so sometimes they find it like floating around.
Yeah.
Oh. Is it
No.
loads or is it
The first
puke?
thought, I thought it was sperm, so I was like, who the fuck is swimming through?
Oh my God, look at that shit. It can be up to $71,000 for a 1.57 kilogram lump. That's like 3.5 pounds, right? Something like
And
that.
it's saliva. What is the whale? What is it? The whale?
It said whale vomit.
So it's like truffle. Yes, look, I knew it. I knew it was compared to fucking truffles.
Oh.
My candle got truffle-ish type fucking ambergris.
It's a product of the
notes.
sperm whale. That's what it is. Scroll back up a little bit there, Jamie.
And it's no cruelty. Nobody beat the shit out the whale.
It's not whale sperm. It's a product of the sperm whale.
That's
Only a sperm whale makes the compound responsible for ambergris allure. It's called ambrine. And different organisms biosynthesize different compounds, such as caffeine made by cocoa, coffee, or tea plants. Ambrine is made by sperm whales only to glue together squid beaks. What the fuck?
So what you saying now, Joe, is my candle is baller as shit, man.
Listen to the rest of it. Listen to the rest of it. Squid is the main diet of sperm whales, but the beaks can't be digested. They need to be passed out without causing injury, and they do this by coating them with ambrine. So the sperm whale creates this amazing shit just to dissolve beaks of squids. God
Or
damn
to be in my
nature's-
fucking candle.
Goddamn nature's
And to be in my
amazing.
fucking candle.
Dude,
And
I wanna light my
to say
shit
all
with
that
your
off my
candle.
black ash. But the thing is, it's some quality shit in there, Joe. And the thing about it was I was going to launch this before the Corona shit hit, but I had to ask myself, like, this is what put things in perspective for me. I'm a road rat. You know, I'm a road dog.
Yeah.
When you're a road dog, you start feeling comfortable. You look at your candle. A comedian, you look at your calendar and see your calendar. You like, I'm good. And the rhythm of my calendar, before this shit popped, I was rocking with Martin. We had fucking dates coming on. You know what I'm saying? I had some.
Yeah, I was looking forward to
some
Nashville,
good shit.
New Orleans. We were gonna have some
Nashville,
fun.
New Orleans. I had one time where I was
Oh.
supposed to do you. This was going to be my weekend. It was you and Dave on a Friday, and then Martin Lawrence the next day.
Jesus.
As they say in the streets, God was good as a motherfucker. The last show I did before these mandates came in, it was at the Milwaukee. You probably played it before, Milwaukee Theater.
Yeah, I
the
think I've
Pabst,
been
the
there.
Pabst Theater.
Yeah.
So you've been down in that green room downstairs, right? Mm-hmm. Incredible. That was the last time. It was the last time I was on stage.
Do you remember what weekend that was?
In
Is that the
regards to, like,
14th? Or was it the weekend before that? There was like a couple of weekends where people were still, like I remember Post Malone had a big show.
It was right when it was about
Denver.
to pop. It was like, the reason why, because seeing the Days Road guy, whatever, when we were on the road, every day was a different news report. You know what I'm saying? It was right when it was going down, Joe.
Right.
Like, it was like
It was
where everybody.
accelerating.
Yeah, it was everybody was like, oh, fucking, this is what we was hearing. The NBA, baseball. And we was like this, we good, we telling jokes. Bow, bow, bow. And the next thing you know, the shit was shut down. But I was like, hold up, motherfucker. You are really unemployed right now. And when I say that, my flow of income is road. And I'm like, what do? You got savings and shit, but nobody wants to just see money going out and no money coming in. And then I was like, I was happy. This is why I always thank you, but I was happy because you got me out the gate, so the momentum is there. And I needed to put the focus in on it. I was forced to put the focus in it, but I put the focus on it, and I said to myself, as all these comedians bitch, what am I going to do? I'm like, you got 3 months to figure out what your rhythm is going to be and what you're going to do. You can wait for this shit, is whatever you consider to be over, you can wait for it's over and then start now, or you can start now. And the only reason I'm saying the candle thing, it was going to be a novelty thing, whatever. But I was like, this candle is going to train me on what it takes to come up with an idea, market it, get people excited about it, provide a quality product, and see what the feedback is, So I know it may seem like so simple to people, but I've always had an entrepreneur spirit, but never was forced to really engage it.
Yeah, well, you only have so much time, right?
That's it.
We're doing stand-up constantly, and you're always on the road. There's only so much time to do other things. And the worry is that if you do try to do other things, that those things will take time away from your stand-up. That's what every comic worries about.
But I was a road rat.
Yeah.
So, and I talked to you before it started, somebody said, every time I do an interview, the first thing people are like, oh, it must be, because we're on the stage, you and I we do this shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't just, okay, I got an arena tour coming up. All right, I'm going to take 2 weeks.
How terrifying that would be.
I'm going to tape. I'm going to tape an hour special. I got 1 week to prepare for it, and you see it. It's reflective of the show.
You can tell.
We're not that people.
No.
We straight up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You probably not so. You do clubs anymore?
I do all the clubs.
Do you go out and hit like a comedy club?
I still do. I like to do Comedy Works in Denver.
So what those reps are. That's what and now you for that person, it's just like everything we express, and part of it we do it because it's somewhat of our therapy. You know what I'm saying? You angry at something, let me go fucking talk about it. You happy about something, let me go fucking talk about it. So people like that, when it's time to put up, you fucking ready to do it. You know what I mean? You're working out.
Yeah, you have to. We've all tried stand-up different ways. There's been comedians since the beginning of stand-up trying it different ways, and pretty much everybody agrees. You got to do it constantly.
And I always lose my thought, and this is where I start to interrupt. But the question that I had to bring my back, and I'm learning to be better at this, is people always ask me in these interviews, they say, this was a follow-up on us, how we love performing. They say, oh, man, it's got to be fucking killing you to not be able to get on stage. And if I didn't have my son, the thing now is I'm replacing stage time with dad time. And it doesn't affect me as much. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't I got to get out. Because the time I was like, okay, I got to do 3 spots tonight, I'm watching Onward with my son. I'm building a goddamn fucking a fake candy machine out of cardboard. So the transition for me hasn't been that tough because I just put that energy somewhere else. And it's been amazing. My son's 4 years old, Joe. This is the longest stretch of time I've spent with him since he was born. And not because I'm a neglectful dad or anything, because you got shows. And it put things in perspective because at one point when I was like, I can't miss this show. Fuck that, you gotta go get the money, Now that I'm getting this time with my son, going back out or whatever, I'm like this, you know what? Maybe I just should start considering counseling that weekend. You know,
you could do things around here too.
That's what I'm doing.
I've been thinking a lot about that, about almost like doing like a LA residency, like find a place that's like a 500-seat theater or something.
But this is the beauty of COVID.
Yeah.
If there's anything, it makes you think on a different level.
What makes you think that this is really temporary? Just because it's always been there doesn't mean it will always be there.
What you mean,
People
the
have to
virus or just
anything,
the mental?
whatever life is,
Right.
the way our society is structured. This is new, right? The cities themselves are new. They've only been around here for a few hundred years, right? We pretend
All my friends think the world started in the 60s. But go ahead.
whatever it is,
All right.
whatever the date is. We all know that the world used to be very different. We just assume that the way it is now is the way it's going to stay. That's not a good assumption, because it's all volatile and it changes constantly, and there's natural disasters that are way scarier than this virus. There's things like asteroid impacts that are inevitable. There's things like supervolcanoes, which are inevitable. They're going to happen. Whether they happen 100,000 years from now or 100 days from now, somewhere in the world, a giant volcano is going to explode, and it's going to turn the whole fucking planet into nuclear winter. And a lot of shit is going to die. It's going to cloud out the sun. It's going to cool the temperature of the planet, and it's going to do it for years. And a lot of fucking things are going to die. That's happened a ton of times. What we're having right now is...
But people are conditioned to it because they went through it. We never went through anything like this.
But this is why we're going through something that is the good. If there's anything that's good about going through something, is that you're forced to realize that something can happen. Something real can happen that shuts the world's economy down and no one saw it coming. Something real, that's a real thing.
But we really haven't had, in America, we really haven't had that test.
No, but this is for the whole world, though. This is like a planetary test. And the good thing about that is you get to see how different people try it. Different people have different, strategies they have to deal with their public and their health care. And there's very different results all over the planet. And they're going to analyze all that shit and try to find out why Germany did so well and Italy did so bad and this and that. And they're going to try to put all this stuff together. It's a terrible time for the people that are affected and the people that get sick.
But
There's not a good thing.
But
people can get something good out of it. You
100%.
can get something good out of a bad thing. And the good thing is to prepare yourself better.
I agree with you 100%. But do you think this, because when you talk about it, you're the only motherfucker I would know that would know more than 10 viruses. Most motherfuckers I grew up with only know one virus. You know all the viruses. Do you think? And when
I don't know all the viruses.
You know more viruses
numbers
than me.
I barely know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
it sounds good because I'm repeating
But you
shit.
read off them 10-syllable words like you know all the motherfucking viruses, motherfucker. You didn't have to clap it out. But they say, this is what they say about the virus too. This is what they say about the virus too, Joe. They say it's a bitch-ass virus.
Yeah.
And is it...
For some people.
For some people. Do you think, and I've heard that, you think it'll be flattening more or when it starts getting really, really hot?
I don't know.
You think that, because I heard it doesn't survive like 85-degree or 90-degree temperature. This is what I've read somewhere, that it doesn't have the likelihood of it living out of your body, whatever, is a lot shorter.
Lower.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. But I do know that for whatever reason, there are seasons, right, where people get colds. I mean, it kind of makes sense that things wouldn't be on surfaces as long. Like they'd get.
That's why you hear somebody have a cold in the summer, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You okay? Because those viruses, them flu viruses and them coronaviruses, that's like some cold shit.
Yeah, I don't know enough to comment on that, but I do know that they're worried there's going to be a second wave. They're worried there's going to be a first wave, and then people are going to relax, and then there's going to be a second wave.
It'll be a second wave if people build too much confidence. It's definitely going to be a second wave.
What's weird to me is how some people get it and it's nothing. They don't even, they just like, I had a cough for a couple of days. I can't believe I had that.
A person close to mine that works in my camp, I won't say his name or whatever, right? Person close, this motherfucker had Corona Light. Yo, I know this, I try to be funny, it's the truth. This motherfucker said, I talked to, he said I heard he had Corona. I was like, oh, nigga got Corona. I was all fucked up, right? I was like, oh shit, like all this shit, right? And then the motherfucker said he was home like 3 days later. I'm like, what fucking type of Corona you got?
So he's at the hospital for 3 days?
Yeah, he was in the hospital for 3 days.
Listen, if you're in the hospital for 3 days, it means you got it bad.
Michael motherfucking
Michael Yo.
Michael Yo. And the weird thing about the Michael Yo joint, because like I love Michael Yo.
I
right?
love that dude.
He's such a great dude.
He's a great guy.
Yo, Joe, he's such a great guy. So I'm up early every morning, 4:30. I'm up early, right? And certain people are up like 5 o'clock hit. I posted something and Yo liked it, which is okay, normal of him. And then he commented. I was like, "Oh, motherfucker, you up?" Right? I'm like, "You want to comment? You up? You could like in your sleep, right?
Right.
But to comment, you can just automatically like, oh, Paul, how many? I owe this motherfucker like blah blah blah. Comment is like, okay, put the glasses on, right? So this is when I was of the notion. I was like, motherfuckers, the shit that's so fucked up about this pandemic is that motherfuckers are afraid to die. And then I said, and this was my mind, but I was like, only time motherfuckers really think about living is when they think they're gonna die. That's when the doctor says, well, how long does he have to live? 3 years. The motherfucker wanna do everything. They wanna see their parents more.
Yeah.
They wanna fucking do their bucket list shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's it. Motherfuckers, they afraid to die. And you gotta know that it's inevitable that it's gonna happen to everybody. You know? So I just wanted to rap with Yo. So I told him, I said, man, and I told him this whole shit. I said, man, motherfucker ain't trying to live until a motherfucker is thinking about dying. And Michael Yo said, nigga, I almost died, right? And that moment meant so much to me for so many reasons, Joe. To hear Michael Yo say they were a nigga, son, I got the same feelings when Wayne Brady said, "Is Wayne Brady gonna have to smack a bitch?" I was like, my nigga, finally! I was so happy. I was so happy because Michael Yo is one of the most unscathed motherfuckers you know. It seemed like Michael Yo's name should have been Preston or something like that, right? And then he told me what his situation was, whatever, and he's getting better, and he announced it, whatever, but...
He got it bad. He got it real bad. He was in the hospital, and he legitimately told me he thought he was dead.
To my point, as much as we want to consider it, that's all we hear, the death of it, the death.
Yeah.
So-and-so died in 24 hours.
But the thing about Michael Yo you have to really consider is that he's healthy. He's young.
Exactly.
He's robust. Like, he's a guy who works out a lot, does a lot of
100%.
lifting weights. When you hear that he got it and almost died, you're like, oh, well, this is a different thing. I'm thinking we're talking so much about obesity.
I think he eat fried chicken, too.
Oh, it does?
Nah, yo, don't let him twist you up. That nigga ain't no health nut like that. Nah, just I'm saying, Michael Yo got a 50-50, nigga. You get in touch with your black side or your Asian side? Which side did Michael Yo have corona in?
Yeah, but
Was it the black side of his family?
He's thin and he works out a lot. Like, he is not overweight at all, and he lifts weights a lot. We talked about on the podcast, he goes to this like weightlifting gym. Like, what was that place he goes to? It's like it's just all weightlifting.
Yeah, I know that.
I know
like
what you're talking
classes.
about. And he's a healthy guy. And that's why when I say, the point I'm making is like, you know, it's not like, this may sound crazy, like when you back in the day, when you heard about AIDS, you didn't hear, when it first popped, nobody survived that shit.
It's true.
Nobody. It was like, you get AIDS, nigga, 4 months, it's a wrap.
And everybody thought they had it.
And everybody thought they had it. But the reason why, and it took some time it doesn't have a cure, but people are living with it. People
When did you get tested? When did you get tested?
About 4 years ago. It's scary.
The first time you got tested for AIDS?
No, the first time was like...
I got tested for an insurance thing that I had to do for health insurance in like 92. 92-ish, and I was so terrified.
Yeah.
Just a slideshow of
the
all
Corona
the
joint.
terrible decisions I've made.
The Corona joint. But the point I was making, but when that first hit, motherfuckers was like, and he was like, but people didn't really take it as serious because they just thought it was just associated with a certain lifestyle.
Well, originally we thought anybody could get it. That's what they were really worried. They were worried that, I mean, this was, remember, when did they even start calling it HIV? Like, in the beginning, they were just calling it AIDS, right?
Right.
People were worried about, and you know, I think before that, they'd even called it the gay cancer. Like, they were trying to figure out what it was. It was killing people. But when I took my first test in 92, I remember all my friends were going through a similar situation, and everybody was terrified to take the test because we were all convinced that it had some incubation period, that you could have it in your body and you'd be fine for 5 years, 6 years, and then boom, and it would kick in.
But the point I'm making about that is that, you hear these stories of people like Michael Yo. Mm-hmm. You hear the story about the person I was talking about earlier. You hear people that when you heard they got it, whatever, that they made it through. People are surviving it, you know?
Some people.
Yeah, some people, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what's weird about it, man. It's killing some people that are young. And apparently there's something that I never took into consideration, called viral load. And this is
from the sperm whale.
There's nothing to do with it. What is how exactly to define viral load? So it depends. Like someone who works as a nurse in an ER who deals with a lot of these patients is much more likely to get it than someone who just gets in contact with one person who has it.
That's the constant being around.
Yeah, the load. I mean, these poor people that are working in healthcare right now, they're dealing with this constant environment of sickness, and a lot of young nurses are dying.
Yeah, that's the
young doctors.
That is so fucked up, and that's interesting because we have the shortage of these masks, and everybody's doing masks and stuff. And one of my friends was like, "I need a mask." I was like, "You better get a scarf, do something, right?" It was like, "No, I need the M94 3M so and so." I'm like, if you walk down the street with one of those fucking surgical doctor's masks to go to the fucking store, you should feel ashamed of yourself because the doctors and nurses are the people that need that stash. The people that are out there on the front line are the ones that need that stash.
That's true, but in California, you have to wear those now. In LA, you have to wear those when you're out.
Yeah, you have to. I'm talking about the level. Like the one I'm talking about is the one that.
Oh, you mean the real filter one?
The real filter one. And I know that they, like, at first it was all about, everybody was like, of the notion you got to have this certain mask. But then they said, you have to cover yourself, have to do it. Like, they won't even let you into certain spots because of it now.
Yeah. No, there's a new law in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, when you're out, you have to have your face covered. Which is
100%.
Man, that is.
Is that just for going into businesses,
it's a weird precedent to set?
Yeah.
Because now people in the future, like, when are you going to tell them they can't cover their face anymore? This is where it gets weird. Because before,
they're never going to say that. They'll say,
hold on. Before, it was weird if you saw someone with their face covered. You would get nervous.
If they weren't Asian.
They were trying to rob you.
If they weren't Asian.
Imagine if you're a guy who works at a 24-hour convenience store and everybody's got a fucking face mask.
Yeah.
Do you know how much that guy's his tension has spiked?
His
anxiety has spiked. Everyone could potentially rob him.
Joe, you're not going to believe this.
You're working a late night shift.
You're not going to believe this. That's why I got a see-through mask. No. Tell the motherfuckers, you want to get back to really racial profiling? All right, get this see-through. But you're right. That has to make
Dude,
people.
If you work in a liquor store. And you know, like your liquor store has been robbed a couple of times already.
First off, if I were here's the deal: liquor store. Anybody that's thinking about robbing a liquor store, keep in mind that I'm almost certain that every motherfucker that owns a liquor store got a shotgun or a pistol back there.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. They're gonna have something back there. So you can roll up in there with your fucking Spider-Man mask if you want to. You're gonna get your head split.
That's a crazy job to be in, man. To put yourself in a situation where every day you go at work, you might have a gun stuck in your face and be told to empty out the cash register, like any day. Like you live in fear of that. The people coming in might rob you.
I have a routine. I don't socialize, but I go and get coffee, right? There's a 7-Eleven I go to. And I know the Mexican motherfucker that work in there, right? And I was outside the car, and there was a black guy in there. And I could tell the Mexican guy was looking at the black guy. Next thing you know, and I was about to do a radio interview for DC, my man Joe Claire, shout out. And these motherfuckers started rumbling, like fighting, like going at it, like pop, 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 fuck you. And my instinct was to try to go help or do something. And for a second, I was like, oh, this shit is fucked up, man, stop that. Then I was like, Rona out there, motherfucker. I'm not getting in it. And finally they stopped. But it was just weird, like
that kind of contact. Yeah, unless you're stopping a man from doing that to a woman, or unless you're stopping someone from hurting someone as much smaller
this
than them.
motherfucker worked for 7-Eleven, Joe, and like he's defending whatever might have been a can of Spam or whatever the situation is.
Oh, that's what they're fighting over?
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I'm pretty sure he's accused a guy of shoplifting.
Oh.
But he put especially in this day and age, whatever, and in the state the world is, this motherfucker was fighting. He was fighting for this shit.
Let it go.
Yeah, you got to let it go. I'm like this motherfucker. You can have.
Especially because you're just an employee. Imagine having a fight for a can of Spam.
But that's an
employee.
employee.
Just getting paid $5 an hour anyway.
In Hawaii?
What's minimum wage? What's minimum?
It's like $11. No, it's over
I have
$7.
Zero idea. They're trying to make it 15. Right?
I don't even know anybody that's making minimum wage.
I know a few people, I bet.
It's like $11. I think it's like $11 or $12.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine fighting someone for $11 or $12 an hour.
They will.
Fighting to the death.
If they Mexican, they will. Yo, You can start a new league, bro. Yo, you can try to find a Home Depot MMA match.
It's hilarious.
Them dudes will fight mask free. They don't give a fuck.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but I was just like this. Goddamn, what are you loyal to? This company, or are you loyal to the fact that you're in there protecting this 7-Eleven goods because you're providing money for your family? But I said I would
crazy
never
that
step.
He doesn't even have a fucking security guard. Like the guy behind the counter's got to go back.
And it was
there
just
and
one.
fight
It was.
him.
It was one
Yeah.
dude.
Bro.
One dude. No, he couldn't jump. They couldn't jump or anything. It was one fucking dude.
Can you imagine being that dude that's in the sketchy area with the late night shift, and just sitting there looking out the window, looking at all these people? You're in there like a little target.
Man, I'm telling you, I would be more fearful of that dude that's in that situation every day than the motherfucker that's coming in there.
Yeah.
Because he's played that scenario on his head forever.
Probably has to.
Oh, they're going
That's
to come
stressful.
in. I know where to hit
do
the
this.
button and everything.
Yeah, but dude, a lot of people, they catch people slipping all the time. It's just those videos that you watch on YouTube and you see someone get shot or you see someone get robbed, like, man, this is just a job. Just a terrible job, and you're getting a gun put in your face.
Think about getting actually robbed. Mm-hmm. I used to live in Brooklyn, and I used to live in this area called Fort Greene, Clinton Hills, and it was right in the beginning of being gentrified, right? Spike Lee used to have a house right down the street, and I used to do a comedy poetry night, get a little money from the hat or whatever, and one night I'm going to the weed spot, right? I'm like, fuck, I'm going to go get some weed. I go to the weed spot, 2 motherfuckers roll up on me, and I knew I was in a gentrified neighborhood because my hood senses were down. I should have never been looking down. 2 motherfuckers roll on me, give me your shit, motherfucker. I'm like, oh, shit. They was like, this motherfucker said, where the jewelry? Because I'm not a flashy type of person. He's like, where the jewelry? Where the phone at, motherfucker? I was like, I don't travel like that. I don't get down like that. This motherfucker said, oh, you a broke motherfucker. You calling me broke, and you fucking robbing me. I'm like, what the fuck? Somebody didn't raise you right. That makes no sense. And I was still going to go to the weed spot because I still had a couple bucks in my pocket, right? But I was like, it would be just my luck. I go to the weed spot and the same motherfucker that robbed me is in the goddamn weed spot.
Yeah.
But that shit was like, people, and when it happened to me, I felt fucked up. I felt so violated because I'm like, you a bitch. I would respect you more if you mug me. You know, like beat me up for my money. But to pull a gun out and have that advantage and think you tough, that shit was so fucked up and I felt so violated. On the inside, I was thinking, like probably what most white dudes think, you know what, I'm going to jump for the gun. Like you, I'm thinking probably what you think. I'm going to disarm them. Because I know you got to move if somebody I know you know something. If somebody put a gun into you, you'll be like, and then next thing you know, the gun be in their face. I was thinking that shit, but I was like, if I miss.
People have a distorted idea of what they can do, especially if a guy's got a gun on you. You have a real distorted idea of how quickly you can move through space. Like, all this person has to do is this. That's it. That's
Right.
the great equalizer. It's
That's what
little movement like that, and a kid can kill you. You know?
And that's was the reason why I didn't go with how I felt on the inside.
Oh, you have to. You got to
You know?
just give them the money. It's just, yeah, you're right. It's a bitch way to do things. But it's just it's a part of society that most people never use. Most people never pull a gun on people to get what they want, but some people do. It's a real thing, and it's one of the weakest things someone can do. You know?
It is. It felt, and you.
But it also will
You feel
protect
powerless.
you, but it also can protect
on the other
you.
side.
On the other side, it can protect you. You know, I watched a video today of these guys
Yeah, but they
who
don't.
broke into an
The
apartment.
other side in places, and we talked about this before. The other side were places where it's legal. Like, you know, the only people that have guns for protection, and I'm speaking when I live in New York, was the police legally.
Right, legally. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it gets real crazy, right? Like, then it's like California is the opposite. California, it's not that hard to get a gun. You know, people would think that California would be way more liberal than New York, but New York, it's very difficult to get a handgun.
You can get like a personal carry, not just for like I know if you're a business, you carry a certain amount of money, you can get a gun. In California, you can get it just by having a clean record.
Yeah, you can get it for your home. Yeah. Nevada has really interesting. Well, Arizona has real interesting.
Man,
rules.
motherfucker picked us up for a show one time. His shit was.
Yeah, Arizona,
out.
you could have it out. It's,
Yeah.
it's a open carry state.
That's an equalizer. That shuts down
Arizona,
road rage.
Arizona, yeah. That's Arizona, right?
Yeah.
It's a Wild West down there.
I know for sure. I've seen a guy that was. I had a gig out there. He was not only our driver, but he was He had his shit right here.
Like Joe Exotic, right? He's in Oklahoma. He's always walking around with
that motherfucker.
They must have an open carry law there.
Yo, that's the funniest shit ever. But it's so funny.
Show.
People connected with different personalities, and I'm watching this shit like this motherfucker is really crazy. I was like, but he was probably the originator of trolling. He was a marketing genius. If you think about it, he was a marketing genius. Every time you thought you had him, he knew how to flip it. But then he got like what most trolls do, they go too hard. He turned into Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's like, bruh, you got enough followers, bruh. Look at you went too fucking hard, and that's what it was.
Hard, and that lady went and got him.
Yep, and then I guess he was so used to trying to win that, and eventually he lost by trying to win so hard.
Well, he was just
Carl fucking he was funny. Carl fucking Basket, he was funny with that shit. So it was
hilarious.
It was very, very entertaining.
He obviously had a sick obsession with her, though. It's not like it's cute when you're watching a documentary that doesn't affect you personally. When you're watching, 7 episodes of this guy shooting a Carol Baskin dummy.
I don't think he had as much obsession with her as he had obsession with fame and people talking about him. And he knew that she was the right person to keep talking about to give him the fame he wanted.
Maybe,
I believe he knew his boys, everybody around him, that ain't gonna give him the headlines.
But I think it was also she was going after his business, saying that she apparently has a different philosophy on how
Sanctuary.
What she does is different.
Saving them.
Yeah, and she's not into the cub petting.
Right.
There's a whole cub petting industry apparently, and so that she was reporting them on that. And his argument was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like,
you're doing the same shit.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
living
they
any
all
better.
in cages, bitch.
Yeah, they're all in cages.
Right.
Anytime you're putting a big cat in a cage, like
right.
you're doing the same thing. Is you're treating it better in the cage, so you have a holier than thou attitude. It's crazy. These things should be wild. They should be loose in the wild, and there should be a few of them maybe that are. If there's a worry about extinction, a few of them that are isolated somewhere, but. To have it like that, it's fucking crazy.
Both of them, they probably had similar. They both had similar personality traits because they gave a fuck and didn't give a fuck at the same time. Both of them shared some of that, but her shit came on the more peaceful side, and his shit was of an aggressive nature.
Yeah, he was ridiculous.
Carol, you want my fucking watch? But that shit was funny. I ain't gonna lie. I would like watching him blow shit up, bruh.
Well, look at him walking around with the knee brace on, with the guns out, and the fucking permanent eyeliner. I mean, he's right out of a movie, man.
No, when they showed a picture with him with his 3 husbands, I was like, this is movie worthy.
They're both saying they're straight. I'm straight.
You can do that right now, right, Joe? You know that right now, right?
Straight guys can have gay sex.
This is what I've heard on the streets in certain, I ain't gonna say what streets that, this is what I'm saying. I understand that. This is what I heard on some outlets, right? That you could suck a dick twice.
3 times?
No. It's 3, then you would be gay.
Okay,
you
twice.
could suck a dick twice.
So first is a test, second is confirmation.
Yeah, I don't know. The second one's
it's like you confirm your test. It's like a double-blind, placebo-controlled dick sucking study.
It is, but it's only 2. Like the same process in the comedy club, 2 drink minimum. Mm-hmm. Like this is what I heard in those streets. I don't know those streets, but you could do it. And they got a new shit called fluid.
Oh, gender fluid. You go back and forth.
Gender fluid means like.
Is that sexual orientation fluid, or gender fluid would be you're a boy or a girl? You go back and forth from being a boy and a girl.
Yeah, and it's like any party you go to, you win. It's like never sausage party, not too many chicks, you always fucking win. It's all confusing.
Well, yeah, it is all confusing. I don't know. Do whatever you want.
That's all you can say.
Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want to do. Just be.
Shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's the problem is it's big of a deal for other people. Like that's where it really becomes a problem, right? If someone is anything, whether they're very masculine, very feminine, very gay, very straight, the problem is not what they're doing. The problem is how other people think about what they're doing and whether or not they give them a hard time for it.
If they think it's wrong, it's not it's not for you to judge if it's wrong or not.
Exactly. That's where when it comes to like religion, like why do people focus? That's a big one that I always get weirded out with about, particularly with Christians. It's like, why do you care? Because if you really want to focus on the Bible, there's so much shit in there that you're not supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to eat shellfish. You're not supposed to eat certain
But they
types
do
of
it.
animals. You're
But
not supposed to wear two different types of cloth. Like if you want to follow the old school
They
Bible,
don't. Nobody wants to follow it to the.
it's too crazy. But why do they care about the gay part though? Why is that part like? It's a freedom issue. It's very clear that those two guys, whether they're gay or straight, they wanted to suck Joe Exotic's dick. Okay, that's why they were there.
I don't know if they wanted to. You hanging around with tigers, they might have.
Maybe they did it because they like tigers, so they're sucking dicks so they can hang out with tigers.
Right.
But for whatever reason, they decided that doing it was better than not doing it. Particularly because both of them could have beat the fuck out of him anytime they wanted to. That one guy was gigantic. The one young kid.
Big, like the model looking dude,
That
right?
kid was a gorilla. He was fucking gigantic with huge ass hands.
I know you're talking-
He would have beat the shit out of that dude.
But the
and
one
the
that
other
was-
guy would have beat the guy with 3 teeth. He would have beat the shit out of him too.
Yeah, all of them would have beat the shit out
They
of him.
all would've
son.
beat the- so
he
you
had
can't
3
say-
teeth.
you
Joe
can't
probably was
say-
like, "That's what I like it. Get right in that gap." Yo, you ever had a toothless blowjob from a tattooed motherfucker? You haven't lived.
A tattooed motherfucker with your name tattooed above his dick.
Yeah. He
Property
was
of Joe
hypnotizing.
Exotic, right? Didn't it say something like that? Something. What did it say?
But all those tiger motherfuckers was freaky in some kind of way. Everyone that was attached to it.
They were all freaky. But I feel like it almost doesn't seem real. The show's so crazy that it doesn't seem. It's so crazy that a lot of people feel like it's played out. Like people talk about it too much.
Yeah, because it just hit. It was just great. But the thing about it, when I say marketing, whatever, he knew everything we do. Record that shit.
Is that the same guy or is that a different one?
Nah, they look like they doing them.
No, he's
That ain't-
see what the
tattoos right
tattoo
here.
is.
That's like Halloween right there.
No, there's another one above his dick that he got covered up with a bull. There it is, right there. Bango.
Charlemagne the God, right there.
Absolutely. What does it say? Privately owned.
Yeah,
Joe Exotic.
yeah.
Privately owned. Ew. And look what he turned it into. Scribbles and a bull. You can still see the actual. He decided to not totally cover it. That's like indicative of his whole life.
Did you see
Like,
the
don't-
follow up? Did you see the
Yes.
follow up they did? And he was upset. He said, "Yeah, the tattoo artist was a little offended because they didn't give him his prop. They said the tattoo was fucked up." Yo, the things they
Tattoo
care
artist
about. He's like,
offended.
not the fact that I was blowing this dude. Like, yeah, man, yeah, we didn't like the way that tattoo was tatted.
Well, it didn't. That's why I got confused. I thought that they were all on meth, right? Didn't you
At some
think
point.
didn't that guy say that he hasn't done anything in like 4 years?
Yeah, I think he said that wasn't from meth or something. It was from something else.
Okay. Hey, what it is, what it is.
Yeah, but
Maybe
they
he
was
just got
on.
hit by an animal. That's true too. Like a lot of hockey players have no fucking teeth.
But that's a badge of honor for hockey players. They don't give. They got
They
enough.
don't give a fuck.
They like fuck that shit.
They like to take them out and show you.
In Canada, you see a mouth like that, you think he's a millionaire. And fucking Ohio is like that motherfucker's hitting that meth.
Have you ever seen the photograph of that old school hockey player who has all these scars all over his face?
No, I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Jamie? It was a recreation of every scar this guy had ever had on his face over his career. It's a famous photograph, and you could see these. I mean, it looks like he's just been in a fucking box cutter fight. His whole face is
Really?
just butchered. Yeah, because all they did was look at this guy's face. Yeah, that's it.
And what was it? He
Make
was a hockey
that large. Yeah,
God
hockey
damn.
player. Yeah, bro,
He was a goalie before they wore masks. It said.
bro.
That looked like one of them cosmetic surgery facilities in
Yeah.
fucking L.A.
Dude, he was a goalie before they used fucking masks. Look at his
Damn!
face.
Before like he was just straight face.
They would just take it in the mug, son. You imagine a guy slapsticking one of those fucking hard-ass pucks? How fast can they make those things go?
Now they can make him go well over 100, 120, 30,
What?
40.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
they're
What?
as fast as that. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'll
Really?
Check. I'll check fastest slap shot. Yeah, I think it's even probably faster. I don't know.
Have you seen that
focus-
video of that dude who does that long drive with the golf club? Do you know what I'm talking about? There's this jack
few of
dude.
them.
There's this really jack dude who hits this golf. He's got this crazy step through Happy Madison or Happy Gilmore type stroke to it, and he makes the ball fly. You know, it's like one of those outdoor ranges. It flies over the back net. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, you probably saw a clip of somebody hitting it out like at the Top Shot golf
Yes.
thing. Yeah, I've seen this before.
You've seen that
the
one guy
Yep.
who steps sideways. He steps to it like Happy Gilmore. Bro, it is.
Like he's about to kill it.
It's bonkers how far that thing flies. I want to find out what that
Yeah,
dude's
I don't
name is.
even
It
know
was a
anybody.
baseball player, wasn't it?
He holds the maybe he looks like a he's a big dude. He looks like a pro baseball player, but he holds the long distance world record for a golf ball drive, like drove it the furthest. So he holds the record. Dude, it's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
And hockey, but I don't follow hockey like that. I've been to one hockey match. I was in New York. I think it was the Rangers played somebody, but
I've been to a couple. They're fun. It's
Yeah.
wild in person. You know, it's like on TV. There's a lot of things like that. Stand-up is a good example. There's a lot of things like that where you see it on TV. It's like, yeah, it looks good. But if you're there, you're like, oh, shit. You
look
watch
crazy.
people skate by and fly
yeah,
by.
that's what it was the interest for me. And then, you know,
Yeah.
I'm black. You go to a hockey match. You just want to see a fight. You like this one, this shit. You don't even know who's playing or who. You like, oh, shit, he just fucked him up.
Dudes know how to fight now. There's some hockey fights where you watch guys throw like crisp punches, like with technique. And you're like, oh, Jesus.
You think they train for
Oh,
that?
100%. 100%. Yeah, you can fight. It's the only sport where you can fight. Like, look, do you practice hitting the puck? Yeah, okay, we'll practice beating the fuck out of people because
Right.
you do that too.
That's protection.
That's part of the game. Part of the game is beating the fuck out of each other.
That's
it's the
the
craziest
highlight of the game.
ever. Well, there's no other sport. Just stop and think about that.
I know.
No other sport where you could fight bare knuckle in the middle of an ice skating rink at a drop of a hat.
And
Fuck
not only
you,
that,
no,
and to
fuck
continue
you.
and continue to be friends at the end of that
Yeah.
shit.
And the referees all let you do it. They step back.
Yeah, they
let you
never like
fight.
keep talking to. They never like fuck you. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. It's like pop, I got it.
There's some videos of dudes getting flatlined, though. It's different than it was back in the day. Because back in the day, they were tough guys who knew how to skate and could maybe fight a little bit. And so they'd grab each other's fucking, their jackets or grab their clothes and they'd be punching each other and
Right.
slamming, moving all
Going
the places.
crazy.
Now dudes are hitting guys with hip throws and slamming them onto the ice, knocking them unconscious. I seen a dude
Tap out.
hit a guy with a perfect counter right hand. A dude swung at him. He backed up like this to right there. Let it pass.
Right.
Blah! Just hit.
And
I'm like,
fucked him
oh,
up?
that guy could fight. That's a guy with like
That's a s-
real skills.
That's a smart motherfucker.
Yeah, he just stood right in front of the guy. Let the guy throw a punch and then boom, countered him. And
I
just
couldn't even
flatlined him.
imagine having that. You know, you might have to fight to balance yourself on skates
On
and just
skates.
like. Duke got it. I wonder how you compare that, like the
guy-
athleticism.
This guy.
He jacks it.
God damn.
He didn't even really run up to it. He's called the
Yeah.
swing man. Is it?
Yeah,
That's how
well,
I go.
well, what I'm saying, he doesn't run up to it, but he picks his leg up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a weird. Watch his move. See that? Boom, bro.
If you go
There's
to
a
golf
bunch of
club-
videos of him.
106 miles an hour for the fastest slap shot.
That's insane. That's so fast with that puck. 106 miles an hour. That puck hits you in the face.
Some people can pitch that fast too, right?
I don't know what the world record of pitch is. What's the world record pitch?
Aldrich Chapman.
I'm gonna guess. 111. Is that ridiculous?
105. Yeah, Aldrich Chapman.
Damn.
That's fucking. How do you hit that? This motherfucker just be connecting
don't.
with that shit.
You do not hit it.
You don't hit that, right? You
How many
suck.
times can they throw that fast? That's the
He
thing.
can do it a couple times in a row. I think he burns his arm out pretty fast. He
Oh, I
only
would
comes in behind,
imagine.
though,
I would
but
imagine. How could you not burn your arm out? Think of how much explosion is involved in this.
God damn, that was a
That was
that's
only
literally
103.
that was a blink of an eye.
It's interesting, like the mechanics of when you watch a real amazing pitcher. There's this crazy body torque going on. Look at this whip. There's so much in that, man. There's so much mechanical movement and leverage in your legs and your
Is that
back
recent?
and coordinate.
Was
How
that
old
recent?
how old
No,
is
it's
it?
like within the last 10 years. It was about 9 years ago.
Damn,
You ever see the
that's
video
crazy.
of the bird that's flying by
Yeah,
right
Randy
when the
Johnson, yeah.
pitch comes at it?
And they caught it in slow mo. They
The bird
captured it.
explodes.
That's fucking crazy.
Was it Randy?
Randy Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, Randy Johnson, the Rocket. He used to tear shit up. He was exciting. I don't know when during his era, people were excited because all on the news.
Watch this. Watch this.
Damn.
He hit the bird right in mid-flight, and the bird exploded. Imagine the end for that bird. He'd be like, "How the fuck? Look at the world has a plan. Here's your plan, birdie. Booyakasha."
Oh,
Yeah.
curl
That
fucking
bird
basket.
got leveled,
That's
man.
fucking
I mean,
crazy.
that bird
No
got
ceremony, no
leveled.
nothing.
No, that bird's dead as fuck. You imagine that? I mean, that dude's throwing 100 miles an hour, right? Or 90s,
That's
high
the
90s.
ultimate. Something told me not to turn right there.
What's that?
Oh,
did he hit him
another
with
one?
the bat? Oh no, it just went right by it. I guess.
Oh,
They
wow.
Just missed it.
Bird got lucky.
I didn't know that happened
Oh,
again.
Damn.
No, that's the Randy Johnson
Yeah,
one.
yeah. But there's a couple. This is a 1 minute video. Of birds
Look at
getting
his
hit.
mechanics. Go back to the video again, the part where Randy Johnson. Look at the mechanics of how he throws his body into that pitch. Look at this. Whip. you step off. There's so much good. It's like a little coordinated movement.
He's been every. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
what city
all that
you were
torque
in.
and leverage.
No
He was
matter what.
6'11", he was that big.
Yeah, he was a
Oh,
beast.
shit, yeah.
Just think about all that leverage, man.
Plus, he can reach almost a foot closer, if not more than that, than any other pitcher. So he's literally releasing it at a closer distance than anybody else, you know? So
Yeah.
less time.
That's
even to
true.
react.
That's a good way to look at it.
It's a
That
lot.
leverage is interesting, man. You know, because it has such a huge factor in some sports.
You ever threw a pitch out at a place?
No way.
I embarrassed
I don't want to hurt
myself.
my shoulder.
It's just like in your ego, because they had one shot of 50 Cent throwing a pitch out.
Oh no.
And he looked so gay doing it. It was funny as shit. I think he probably had that deleted from the internet.
I just saw this yesterday. I don't know why it was coming around, but this is Bo Jackson throwing somebody out flat-footed from the outfield. It's not this one, but it's his next one. If they show on the same
Dude,
one.
Bo Jackson was
Everything.
one of the freakiest athletes of all time.
His arm was so crazy.
Everything was crazy. If he didn't get hurt in that football game, look at this. Jumps off the wall, so he avoids all the impact. Literally just ran up the wall.
Yeah, Bo knew everything.
He's a very
What was it,
interesting
baseball,
guy, man.
football? That was just two sports, right?
Played two sports, but world class at both sports. It wasn't until the football injury that he had to get a hip replacement. And
You
that
know,
kinda
growing up, he was
fucked
the
up his
first
career.
person you picked. Like, I got this motherfucker on what sport?
Dude, everything, anything and everything. There's certain dudes that just have the perfect build, the perfect
Yeah.
genetics, and then work ethic. Another one is a Herschel Walker. Like Herschel Walker's
His knees
workouts
are destroyed now.
How could they not be? How could they not be?
Yeah, they say he can barely walk now.
He'll still fuck you up. Herschel Walker he was fucking people up in Strike Force when he was in his late 40s.
I was thinking Earl Campbell. That's the one that's like really, really like bad with his
I don't think
knees.
Herschel Walker has bad knees. He was fighting almost until he was 50. He was fighting in Strike Force. A lot of people
yeah?
don't know that. Yeah, Herschel Walker at 48, 49, whatever he was when he was fighting, looked like a 30-year-old perfect specimen of an
Yeah.
athlete. He didn't look like an older athlete
Like
that's
he-
doing something
looked
different,
like
like
he's
he's trying to
still doing
fight. It looks like he's fucking world class,
Right.
ripped, full six-pack, super jacked, still
At
has the
48?
same discipline. At 40, what is his age there? What does it
I
say?
said 48.
48. Look at
Not
the
right
build.
there. 48
yes,
right there?
Yes, dude. Look at the build on this fucking guy. And he destroyed this dude in Strike Force. He beat a few guys. He was undefeated in MMA. And the way he would beat these guys was just, first of all, he had a long martial arts background. Like he'd
Right.
done martial arts before.
I did not
anything.
never know any of this.
But he's got such a crazy disciplined work ethic that like his body is still in pristine shape in his late 40s. Now, I don't know if he's taking hormones or anything here, but either way, the way this guy looked in his 40s and the way he was
I mean,
competing,
it's just like his
didn't make
face.
sense.
His
Yes,
face does
everything
not
about
look.
him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That guy would do push-ups and sit-ups and bodyweight squats and shit over weightlifting. That was like his big thing, was that he did mostly calisthenics.
I had no idea that he ever did that.
Dude, Herschel Walker was a
That's crazy. See, that's when I say you know everything. That motherfucker.
But dude, that's the thing. When he started fighting, people were like, oh, you know, he's like a guy who still wants to compete, who used to be world class at something. He probably won't be good at fighting.
Right.
He's fucking people
I mean,
up,
look at that.
man.
And with me just looking at it, it didn't look like it was just like a show. Like
No,
just
no,
trying
no.
to show.
No, he looks like a professional mixed martial arts fighter. I wouldn't say he looked like the best in the world,
Right.
but he was professional. And he even went to one of the best gyms in the world. He went to AKA.
Where's that?
AKA is in San Jose. It's one of the best mixed martial arts. Cain Velasquez, Daniel
Yeah.
Cormier, John Fitch, Josh Koscheck. I mean, you can go down the list. A lot
So he
of
trained
great
with some of the top
fighters
people.
came out of there. Yeah, it's a great gym. And they have been training world-class fighters forever. So he went to the Lion's Den. Khabib
went-
Nurmagomedov trained
he
there.
went to-
Mike Swick trained there. I mean, it's the
He went to the Comedy
Lion's Den.
Store.
He went to the Comedy Store.
He went to the Comedy
He went
Store.
right in there, and he trained there. Look at that! Look at that build! Come on, man.
Yeah.
Who the fuck looks like that in their late 40s and does professional cage fighting after a long career in the NFL? I mean,
Yo, that's
Herschel
crazy.
Walker's something special, man. He was
I
something
had
special.
no idea.
Oh my God, dude! And I'm telling you, every fight was like this. Every fight was like a man versus boys.
You watched them live? You watched the fights?
Oh, I
live?
watched them all.
Of course you did.
I watch everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dumb question.
I watch a lot of shit. Yeah.
I know, like a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You read a lot of audiobooks too.
I do.
You read a lot. You read a lot of audiobooks.
I read a lot of audiobooks.
That's all I want to say. You read a lot of audiobooks, bro.
I mostly read articles, but I get my books. I consume my books in audio form because I can do other shit. Like I can go on a walk.
When I was
walk
talking,
my dog, I'll listen to a book.
When I was talking to the person that helped me with the candle, and I got the fact about the whale shit, I was like, this motherfucker is going to be all over that shit. Ambergris. I knew it. I was like, this is right up his sperm whales.
Isn't it crazy that it's just to dissolve beaks? That's what I mean, like pearls, right? That's just like a coating that an oyster puts over a rock or something that's inside its mouth. Isn't that what it is? Like he gets irritated and it creates this coating and puts it over it and it becomes super value to us.
How long? But that's over. Well, it can't be a long time because oysters don't live for so long. What's the time?
That's a good question.
Period.
How long does
to
an
be
oyster
able
live?
to develop a
Let's
fucking
guess.
pearl?
Let's just guess. This is a total guess. How long do you think an oyster stays alive? If you had to guess, like how old does an oyster get?
I'll say 15 years.
Wow, I was gonna say 3.
I would love to know the answer to this.
I wonder if they know. Like, you know,
if
they
they're
don't.
about to be pearled up.
I think they don't know how old sharks get.
Well, it takes it takes 2 to 4 years for it to form the pearl,
Oh.
but they live anywhere from 2 to 41 years.
41 years for an oyster.
I was the closest,
Or
Joe.
mollusk.
Joe,
same thing, but-
Joe.
No, I was closest. 2.
No, you said
I said
2.
2. It's 2. I'm
I
right.
said 17.
I said 3. I'm 1 away.
This is oysters 20
Yo,
years in
no,
captivity.
man, fuck that. I won. I just want to
It doesn't
win
seem
something.
consistent.
I know.
It doesn't seem
What's
consistent.
captivity? I
2 to
mean-
41. It's like, well, sometimes babies die when they're 1 day old. How old do people live?
Right, 2 to 41.
Like,
but
what
I
does
was
that mean?
closer.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll give it to you.
I was closer to the life expectancy. I feel so proud about that.
I thought it was like octopus, because octopus is real quick, right? Octopus are real smart, but I think they have a very short lifespan. I think octopus.
I
is
heard
less
they had
than,
the
less than 10
brain
years.
of a human,
They're fucking clever. They're clever and they're mean as shit.
and they're smart.
Yeah, they're like an evil alien. That's what they
They
are.
look-
They're in the same family.
Mollusks.
Yeah. So like that's why it's similar to.
Is a crustacean the same as a mollusk? Isn't
they're related, so they're not like the same, but
is a shellfish a crustacean? Because a crab is a crustacean, right? I just like saying big words.
they are all.
I like
mollusks.
crustacean.
I'll say that.
I know. I'm like, you just threw that motherfucker. What's that restaurant? Crab crustacean. That's the only time I use that word.
Oysters
Yeah.
a bivalve, and the octopus is like a gastropod or a cephalopod.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Cephalopod. That's right.
I was gonna say
What is the
cephalopod.
life expectancy of a?
What's
octopus?
a cephalopod?
Yeah, that's like 2 to 4 years, depending on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've looked that up before.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we have. 2 to 4 years is nothing for something that's smart. That's what's so weird. Imagine you're
They're
born.
not that smart. They can't live longer than that. Motherfucker
They don't
duck.
have any tools. There's no doctors under
Yeah.
there. They do grow their limbs back. And when males and females breed, sometimes the female just decides to kill the male and eat it. Females are larger.
Habits quarantine. That's coming out of quarantine, motherfucker. If we make this all your limbs, we're gonna eat that shit.
A male's octopus, his dick is also his limbs. What does it say? The largest bivalve is the giant clam, which reaches a length of 4 feet and weighs 500 pounds. Holy shit. Holy shit. Did you know that? A 4-foot clam that weighs 500 pounds? That's crazy. That's like the Little Mermaid lives in there.
Is it part of a menu? I mean, do people
Oh,
eat
we
it?
should eat the fuck out of that thing.
Yo.
At least 500 years old. It's also the oldest known animal. It can live to 500 years
So
old.
2 to 500 years, I guess.
Yo, I was the closest again. No, I didn't even take a guess on that one. That's crazy.
But octopus's dick is also its tentacles, and sometimes it has to give up its dick. It'll like let an arm separate so that the female doesn't eat it. Because
So,
females would just jack them.
Eat the dick?
They eat the arm. They'll take his dick, which is also his arm. They'll take one of his tentacles, and they'll eat that. And like it's almost like he's like, here, eat my arm.
I'm not.
And
So
it
what
grows
is it?
back. Dude, it's the craziest shit ever. There's a lot of videos of it. Female octopuses just jack male octopuses and kill them and eat them. And
For
then
the
they
dick or the arm? You don't know.
Their whole body is the same
That's
thing.
fucking crazy.
And they stuff them. They stuff them into like holes in the reef and just peck away at them for days.
Yo, why do you sound as much as that went? You got more excited about more and more and more.
I'm fascinated by that shit.
You're fascinated about every goddamn
But this
thing.
is something to be fascinated by because this is a living thing that we can look. If we found this on another planet, we'd be freaking the fuck out. If they sent one of those probes, those like Mars probes, to another planet, and they found this, just laying in an ocean somewhere, and they studied this. This is the life form on this planet that's dominant. And sometimes the females, which are super intelligent, sometimes they just kill the males and eat them. That's what this guy's doing. This girl, rather, is killing this guy. She's killing him right now. She's strangling him and biting him and slowly eating him.
The fact that you could do a play-by-play, that might have been one of the most impressive things I've seen.
They're mean.
Of an octopus getting eaten up by his wife.
Smart and mean. They don't live very long.
They taste good, too.
They taste real good. But they're smart.
Calamari all day.
That's squid. I don't think they're as smart.
No? Oh, yeah.
I don't think squid are that smart. Are they smart? Who's smarter? Octopus.
I love grill.
For sure,
love
right?
me
Yeah,
some
they
grill.
change color and stuff.
Oh, that's true. What is the other one that does? Cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Cuttlefish
They're all
does.
cephalopod, yeah.
That's
crazy
the little
shit.
fat ones, the ones that blow up?
No, that's a puffer. Yeah, cuttlefish is like this weird thing that's like, it's not quite a squid, it's not quite an octopus, but it looks a lot like them. It's a similar thing, and it can change colors, and
You sit in
they're
restaurants?
freaky. That's what it looks like. That thing's freaky. But get a video. See if there's a video that
See,
that
I'm
he
not
can
into
see.
this weird.
Dude, these things, just do cuttlefish camouflage. Dude, they look exactly like their surrounding, and they just jack things like that. So they blend in perfectly with the environment, even the texture. They can look like coral. Look at that.
Damn.
Booyah! They can look like the rocks on the bottom. They look like all kinds of different things. And they can change really quickly to blend in with whatever the background is. They're freaky, man.
That's crazy.
They're really freaky.
What do they taste like? Fucking the end of anything. What the
They
fuck
taste
do they
good.
taste like?
I think they taste. People eat them. I know that.
People eat anything.
They eat cuttlefish. I think it's like a luxury fish. It's like, very. I think it's highly sought after in some ethnic cookings, right? Like Asian style cookings. I know I've had it.
Yeah. Just cuttlefish cooking tips.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, well, you do elk, so cuttlefish is not.
It's
You
like
can't be
you've
far
had
from that.
octopus. You've had squid. There's not that much difference.
I know. You could sell me on it because I try different things, but certain places you go, this the
is.
chick with the sloppy mouth.
Is that
Yo, the one is
mukbang?
like,
Yeah, people love that.
She
That's
gives-
cuttlefish
she-
she's chowing down on?
Yeah.
Dude, that looks good as fuck. That looks real good, but it looks weird. That looks like an alien thing.
Yeah, I could do that.
Tastes just like squid, she says. If
Look at
you
that nose.
saw that on another planet, if they found an animal underwater on another planet that could change color and blend in with its environment, they don't even know how the fuck it does that. They don't know how they do that. They watch them do that, and they try to figure out how the fuck this thing instantly mimics the texture of coral and blends right in.
but that's years of evolution, right?
Oh, for sure. But I mean, it's beyond what anything else on this planet can do. Like you look at like what we can do. We can't do shit. We
And the
can't
thing that we
blend
did,
in.
well,
look
we can
exactly like we
we
look.
reproduce.
Yes, we
and
can
that
do
the act of that is the simplest thing you could do in your life.
the act of reproduction.
Oh my, it's and next thing you
Yeah.
know, 9 months later, you're responsible for something.
True. Yeah. And it's your body's programmed to want that more than anything.
To reproduce or the sexual
To get
part?
the sex.
Oh yeah, but then
Your
that'll
body's
fit.
programmed for that.
And to reproduce though, ultimately,
Yes.
right?
That's what's crazy about.
So that's what somebody could say. Somebody cheat. They was like, I was just feeding my need to reproduce. You can't say I was just being unfaithful.
I don't think that's gonna fly.
Okay.
But it's amazing that
It wasn't
so
like I
much
was-
of our society is based on on sexual desire, right? It really is just a call to reproduce, like a girl's ass and a girl with big tits and small waist. Like you see that, it's like a program that runs in the brain that gets the body saying, "Oh, you need to make a
It
baby."
used to until
You need to make a
COVID-19 hit. That
baby."
shit's slow. Yeah, but it is something. And then that becomes get to a mental part too. And that happens with women and guys. You know what I'm saying?
People should meet up for dates and get tested. Once they get testing everywhere, people should meet up for dates, get tested, and then go out. It'd be
But
kind
then-
of a fun little thing to do.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. I'm telling you, it's going to go back to that second wave.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to slip through. Somebody's like, it's like
I wish I knew if
This
that's
is-
the case. I don't know. Maybe,
this situation, man. This situation it's gonna change for so much shit, bro. The way people think about so much things, and it's gonna, ultimately it'll make us a better people or a better place.
It'll change a lot, but we're still very fortunate, and we should just use this time to make a better situation for ourselves. We can do that.
I say that to people. I was like, it's easy to get down. It's easy to have an excuse why you don't want to do something, but or you could challenge it, and that's what it is.
The real problem is people with families that lost their job. That's the real problem, being able to put food on the table, people being able to, they want to get their business back up. How can they possibly make a living again? It's not like anything else where people lost their business. They didn't make any bad mistakes. If a person makes a bunch of bad mistakes and they lose their business, they kind of at least know what happened. But when all of a sudden, if you've been working hard your whole life and you have a successful business, and then boom, the floor falls out in a month.
Yeah, but then I will say Trump, what I get from Trump and them, that they have been or trying to be as aggressive with keeping small businesses alive more than anything.
Yeah, and that's a good move. It's very important.
It's
Restaurants, small businesses, but there was a thing today in I think it was the Washington Post where they were talking about how they're already out of that money that they deemed for small business loans. They already ran out. They're already.
This was recent because I know when they went back for more money.
I hope they do. It was today. I was reading something today. I don't know what paper it was, but was it Washington Post? All of them. And it's basically saying that they need to figure out how to keep doing this. If we're gonna social distance, particularly in California, like the idea is May 19th now or May 15th. Is that what it is? May 15th, I think.
15th as of now.
Yeah, and how are they going to start it back up? And what are they going to do to start it back up? And what are people going to be like? Like, how long is it going to take before everybody settles back in again? They don't really know. They don't.
But it feels like if they ease it up, that's going to be more for, like you say, people that work, right?
Yeah.
That's where the issue would come in, is like how people are going to feel comfortable going to work.
Right. We were talking about guys who work at grocery stores, right?
Right.
You used to work at a grocery store. It was just a job. Now it's a job that could kill you. Like, what? Like, it doesn't even pay that well. Imagine a job that doesn't pay that well that could kill you. Yeah, so imagine being there right now and dealing with these people coughing and walking back and forth everywhere you look. All these new people. You're being constantly exposed to these people's air. And it used to just be a regular job. Now all of a sudden it's a regular job that might get you so sick you could die. Like, fuck.
That's why they're going to go try to, you got to fucking raise that minimum wage now. Watch, that's going to probably happen. Well, I guarantee that'll probably happen.
This is what we're realizing in all of this, is that if you do have a crisis, this is the good thing. The vast majority of people comply with what's needed to, stay home, just go to the supermarket, do essential things, come back. Just stay home. Let's just let this shit die off. Let the people that have it right now, let them get to a point where they're not transmitting it to anybody else anymore.
Right.
Everybody stay away from each other, and let's just nip this shit in the bud.
Right.
And the way you look at it in terms of like different philosophies of different places that have done it, some places have not been so aggressive and they've experienced a lot of cases, and you could say, well, yeah, but those people, it's gonna go through their immune system quicker and they'll be able to go back to work quicker. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know, but I do know that California has a very low number of deaths, in particular, and a low number of it's a low number of people that have gotten gravely ill in comparison to the size of the state. Like if you compare it to New York, which is a very high number of people that got ill.
New York, the population of 5.5 million in Brooklyn alone,
and everyone's on top of
and
each
everybody's
other.
like, why are you so shocked that it's an epicenter? It's because everybody's there and everybody live up in the sky.
It's all about like, when do you jump? Like, when do you make a move? And California made a move a little bit quicker, and that's really what it is. Like, who acts the quickest?
And you got to do, and I do understand like the tough mandates, because you have to lay it down because people will be easy and lax with it.
They are, but there's also people that are getting too much of a kick out of telling people what to do. Like they're kicking people out of parks when it's like a family of 3 and there's no one else in the park. Like, come on, like, relax. There's no one here. If you're there and there's no one else there, leave the fucking people alone. Let them enjoy the park. Now, if other people come and they get too close to each other, then step in and stop them. But I mean,
But if they do it like
Yeah.
that, then there's always going to be somebody that's going to try to push it. So I can
You're
kind of
right.
understand
I get it too. I
how
get it
they'll
too.
be like, fuck it, nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I took my son for a walk the other day, and, like, he's doesn't really know what's going on, but he knows what's going on. And he was on this little scooter, right? And I'm like, he was just happy to be out, right? Just, you know, and he had his mask on. I was like, is that the future? Ugh. You know, that little mask? I'm like,
we're gonna get so weird with each other. I mean, if you wanted a formula, right? If you wanted to be a real conspiracy theorist and you wanted a formula to get people to more easily be separated and more easily give in to the future of machines taking over the world. This is what you do. You give them a fucking disease where they can't even be human anymore. They can't hug each other. They can't kiss. They can't even get close because they're worried they're going to get a disease that's going to kill them. So what do you make them do on top of that? You make them wear a mask. So now they can't even see each other's facial expressions. You can't even look a person in the eye. You just see the eyes only.
Yeah, but something is going to make, I understand what you're saying, but something is going to make those people feel more comfortable. It's quicker testing with quicker results, a vaccine. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, but something is going to give people a vote of confidence.
Imagine
and that's going to be with those numbers of like people excited about like what is it called, flattened out. They're like, oh shit,
flatten the curve.
Yes, flatten the curve. It's going to be something to give people more confidence, and then when people have more confidence, some people are going to push it, right? And some people are going to be like we say, it's going to be the new normal. They're going to be taking extra precautions. I don't know the next time I'll do a meet and greet.
Right.
A meet and greet, that part of our business is going to be gone for some time.
For sure. Do you remember that spring break footage of those kids they caught down in Mexico?
Yeah.
Going crazy? Or is it Florida?
It was Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Might as well be Mexico. Florida's not
Same
America.
shit. Right.
So they're down there going crazy.
That's true.
They're
All the
down
crazy
there.
shit happens in Florida.
That is not America. So they go down there. I mean, if you're from Florida, relax. I'm joking.
They're not going to relax.
Relax.
They're going to be at 4:59.
My sister lives in Florida.
4:59. This is when Donnell said, they'll blame it on me.
Ah!
4:59, Donnell said he hated Florida. Get him.
Those kids, watching those kids on the beach, because there was no laws. There was no law yet. So these kids
and they moved slow, and they were like the last state, right?
Yeah.
They were the last state.
Well, they
were like, we need
Florida just said that professional wrestling is an essential business.
Really? McMahon, who has that is hilarious.
That's true, right? Yeah. What is the exact statement? Because I don't want to, because it sounds so ridiculous. I don't want to fuck this up.
Yeah, they said they rushed to judgment, I think. They might have just reevaluated things.
Oh, did they reevaluate it now?
Yeah. No, originally.
Originally?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, they're going to be taping this weekend.
But if a show that gives people jobs and is produced, it's creating jobs for other people, couldn't that be considered a essential job to the people that work there?
Yes. So every job's essential then.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. The WWE is now considered essential service in Florida. It's a service. Officials in the state permitted employees of professional sports and media production with a national audience to hold an event if it is closed to the public. Now, yeah, I think you should be able to. If you test everybody and everybody's negative, and test takes 15 minutes. And apparently they're working on ones that work a lot quicker.
And I said that, Joe. I said that's when it's going to shift. Like I say, people getting somewhat a little bit of a vote of confidence when you know that you could get results rapid.
Yeah, I want to know if they made it in a lab or if
they
it came
make
out
it.
of a
Somebody's
lab.
making it in that. They got to get everything's
I
got
want
to
to
get
know.
approved.
No, I mean the virus itself. The big theory is not just
Wuhan.
not even that they made it in a lab. That's not what they think. What they do think is it escaped from a lab, and that this was something that they were working on in this lab with the very same type of bats they were working on in this lab. This is reported by none other than Fox News.
I believe them.
They have a lab there. They're working on bats. Are they working on viruses? And it came from the very area. It's not. It's not impossible. To pretend it's impossible seems a little crazy for me.
That bat I heard.
It might be.
My bat story was my story was bat and a snake was involved with it some kind of way.
There's a pangolin. People thought that it was that bats, this was someone told me that bats transferred over to pangolins, which is this weird fucking armadillo-looking creature.
I know you're talking about the little funny looking
weird thing.
Yeah, I know you're talking
like a
about.
dinosaur-looking thing.
Yeah.
and that somehow or another that got to people. But then they thought it was a lady who was patient zero who worked next to a stand that was selling bats. But this article claims that the wet market, the whole reason why that story got out, it was a cover story for the fact that it escaped from their lab. But of course, that sounds so much like a plot in a movie. Like you read it and you go, "Wow, it's almost too attractive."
But
Every other news reporting, like CNN, NBC, it says that the U.S. officials are now looking into that unverified theory pushed
by
yesterday.
Fox News.
It doesn't say Fox News. It says
You said it
conservatives,
things like
including
a
President Trump.
plot in the movie. This whole thing feels like a fucking movie.
100%.
Like a movie. Like to see Times Square
Yeah.
with nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody?
My friend John Joseph took a run across the Brooklyn Bridge today and took a picture of him standing on top of the Brooklyn Bridge on his Instagram, and behind him it's just empty, like I Am Legend shit.
Yeah, it's
There's like
crazy.
a couple people in the background. You can see them way far in the background. But a normal day on the Brooklyn Bridge where people walk,
you get hit trying to.
Yeah.
But I believe that it's going to. And my belief may not mean too much to anybody, but
it has to start back up again. When is the big question, and what is it going to be like? You know, I hope people just.
I think it's
keep
going
it
to be a
together.
continuation of. I think it's going to be a continuation of what's going on right now, with the social distancing and stuff. But it's just like businesses aren't opening because this is going to be 6 foot. It's going to be 6 feet, mask and everything for a while. You can believe that shit.
For a while.
Yeah.
Imagine the people that were already germ freaks, right?
Neil Brennan. I said Neil Brennan.
Brennan's a germ freak.
Neil Brennan and white people knew. Neil Brennan and white podcasters knew that this was going to happen, Joe. They knew it was going to be a point where we're not going to go on a road. We'll be good. And Neil Brennan is a germ phobe, and I laughed at him. I even called him gay for fist bumping everybody. He knew.
He did it
And you knew.
way ago. I never thought this was happening.
You knew it could happen, though. Somewhere in your imagination, I know there was a scenario or a story. If anybody would have been like, what if? I think you've seen this movie in your brain.
I've seen a bunch of movies in my brain. That's what bothers me. What bothers me is complacency. That I think it's real easy for people to just keep on keeping on. And I think if you look at a lot of the problems that we have in our culture are from poor decision making, and where people choose comfort over doing a smarter thing that's harder to do, that's going to help your life more.
The easy route.
Yeah, it's real common with people. It's part of you. It's part of me. I have it in myself. We all have it. We all fight it, right? This is making you realize what's really important.
You 100%.
This is when you can realize, like, oh, me losing weight is not about me looking good. It's about me staying alive. Like, it might be the difference between me dying from this shit or skating through it.
It makes you think about it when we weren't thinking about it at all.
Exactly.
We weren't thinking about. Think about it. You see, I've seen motherfuckers. You go to a motherfucking airport, motherfuckers. You know how to quick piss in and out or whatever. Right. You got motherfuckers just like gotta come right out the joint. Don't wash your hands or anything.
Clearly,
I didn't even think I know about washing hands, whatever, but I didn't know that hand sanitizer was that gangster. Yo, I thought people have hand sanitizer was gay. Like, all right, you old Mr. Old Germophobe. But then you realize those precautions moving forward, those are going to help us.
Yeah, you got to be. You got to understand that every surface that you touch that's been touched by a bunch of other people, it has the potential to have something on it. And that's just how it is. It doesn't mean you shouldn't touch things anymore. Just be real careful what you do with your face afterwards.
It's like
Don't touch your face.
Like you take for granted. You take for granted. It's like, it's easy. It's easy just to be like, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. I know that.
But the other thing is, the stuff that you get in contact with, your immune system gets stronger when you're in contact with more things. Like kids, particularly when they're young, they say, they used to have, what were they called, chicken pox parties?
Yeah, we had chicken pox party. I was telling somebody about it. I didn't know white people did that too.
Apparently. I read about it.
Yeah, it's just like.
I think it's just a common thing that Americans did back before they gave kids vaccines for it.
Once you got chicken pox, it was about to be a sleepover. And everybody get it one time.
Get it out of the way.
I was just talking to somebody about it the other day.
Apparently, it's real bad when you get it when you're an adult.
Yeah.
Not good. Yeah. Same with the measles. Measles kills kids too.
But funny if you hear an adult with chickenpox, you're like, where the fuck did you go, motherfucker?
Where have you been?
Chickenpox, motherfucker.
And by the way, how do you not get vaccinated for that by this time? Like, dude, there's a chickenpox vaccine, right? I had it when I was a kid.
You
Did
can
have
tell
it?
that old motherfuckers
Yeah.
got that shit right there. That little like
Yeah, but that's also, is that chickenpox, that one, or is that
Measles?
I think that's smallpox too. I think it's measles. We got there's a bunch of vaccinations.
chickenpox.
Our vaccinations scarred us up when we were kids, right? I had one in my arm, like my whole life. I had this weird scar on the top of my shoulder.
That's the
from
old
being
school scar.
vaccinated.
As a chick will look at you like, oh, you got one of those? Like
Stab
that's
you
like,
in the old school.
yeah,
Since
you
it
got.
was 1995, the vaccine varicella. Before that, there
wow.
were 4 million cases a year.
That's
Mostly in
crazy.
children.
That's crazy.
Who's
So
going to
that's-
be? There's going to be a comedy club that says, "Fuck it."
Let's get opening.
Who's
Someone's
gonna
gonna do it.
Somebody's going to do it.
You just get to make people sign waivers. Say the club's not responsible if you get sick.
You
Now,
think
is that
people's-
irresponsible to do? Is that irresponsible to do? I don't know. Is it look, tell people to get tested. Tell them to get tested when it's available. When testing's readily available and treatment's readily available, I think only then are we going to relax.
Yeah, I said it. Yep, it's the truth. It's
Then,
like
then the question is like, how do you tell people that you don't have it? Like if you go to a bar, are you gonna submit to having an app?
I've heard that there may be some type. I heard in Wuhan or whatever, they have some type of system where it is an app where I guess you register and you could scan and see. I know that has to be in development.
Dude,
I was just talking to somebody about it the other day. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that technology exists.
do you follow Willie D from the Ghetto Boys?
Yeah.
Go to his Instagram, and he's got a post where there's a company that's sticking a microchip in these people's arms. They hired a fucking professional tattooist and piercer, a professional piercer
For
guy.
what has to come in
What-
before you to get it
What
in?
the fuck? Imagine if your company tells you, I know you don't want to bring keys. You know, why are you bringing keys everywhere? Just going to give you a little microchip. I'm going to make sure you're showing up at work on time. You don't have to punch in anymore. You're all set. They're literally
People gonna go for it.
They're going for it in this video.
100%.
Everybody's laughing and joking around about it. That is real, right?
Yeah,
We didn't get hoaxed. Did we get hoaxed? Because it's a news story.
If it's not real, I
definitely
can
a real
believe it.
story. I don't know about it on his page, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So I'm gonna go. To
I
the
watched
real
it and was like,
But
what
Joe,
in
if
the
you
fuck
think about it,
are they thinking?
It's on
It's the
MIT's
same-
website.
There it is. This company embeds microchips in its employees, and they love it. Look at the title
Yeah.
of that.
And
50 employees at Times Square
know what?
Market got RFID
Because-
chips in their hands.
Those are probably people that know that anything, they probably know that anything that the government wants to find out about you, they can find it out whenever they want.
Look at this. When Patrick McMullen wants a Diet Dr. Pepper while he's at work, he pays
believe
for
it.
it with a wave of his hand. Oh, well, definitely don't carry credit cards anymore. That's too hard to do.
There's
Just let him put a microchip in you. Pay it with a wave of your hand.
I think LaGuardia, one of the airports in New York, has got the experimental thing going where they have in one of the terminals a place where you can go shop. You just swipe your credit card when you walk in, and you just leave with whatever you got, and they charge you. Like those Amazon stores. It's the same technology. I guess Amazon's licensing it out.
Well, that makes sense. It's still a credit card, though. Like, it's not a chip.
The Amazon
This is-
store, you don't wave your card. I think you just have your phone with you, kind of, and it's just like knows that you have.
As
that.
long as you can leave it at home. This you can't leave at home. This is what's so crazy
That's
about
one
this.
step.
How hard is it, you lazy bitch? You can't pull your fucking credit card out? You're willing to let them put a microchip in there so you can get a Diet Dr. Pepper
You can loan
with a hand
somebody.
move?
You can loan somebody money with a DAP.
At his office, he's one of dozens of employees who've been doing likewise for a year now. That's very funny. Imagine that's how you give each other money.
Yeah, like that. DAP slap a cash app slap app.
You can't touch now because of Corona. So what are you
No,
gonna do?
but I mean, that's
Right.
like, that's why. I couldn't pay you,
Bluetooth.
bro. Social distancing.
Wave it over.
McMullen is the president of 3 Square Market, a technology company that provides self-service mini markets to hospitals, hotels, and company break rooms. Last August, he became one of roughly 50 employees at its headquarters in River Falls, Wisconsin, who had volunteered to have a chip injected into their hand. Fucking yikes. What I saw was a dude was getting it in his forearm. It must be a different company. So this is what's scary. Is this going to be the new norm? Like, what if you get fired by these people and you get hired by Amazon? Do you have to put in one of their chips? Do you have to take out your old chip? Do they sell the chip to the company? Are we being
My guess would be, when you leave, give me my chip back.
Oh, my God, they cut you open.
But that does not surprise me in the least.
It doesn't surprise me, but it alarms me. It alarms me that people are so interested in having someone put a chip in their body.
But
a company that tells you have to do it, if their company tells you have to do that, fuck that company.
But I know it. But those are people that feel that they need to feel the need of being a part of new technology. I want it. If that's the hot shit, motherfucker's gonna have it.
This was 2014. Says microchips will be implanted into healthy people sooner than you think.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, they called it.
It's going to happen
in 2014.
It's going to happen for people like, I say, look, think about it, Joe, somebody with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to find a smart reason. If somebody is abducted, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's weird to think about it, but then if you really think about it, it's going to be weird, but it's still not. There's going to be plenty of reasons why it makes sense.
Tell me where your chip is. And people don't want to tell, so they cut your hand off.
This article, I don't like it. Right here, talks about this guy getting a computer
Jesus
virus
Christ. Look at
implanted
this.
in his chip.
A year later, Gasson infected his own implant with a computer virus, one that could pass on to other computer systems if the building's networks were programmed to read his chip. As Gasson breezed around the workplace, spreading the virus and corrupting computer systems, certain areas of the building became inaccessible to his colleagues. Jesus Christ.
That's how wars are gonna be fought,
yes.
Joe. Yo, motherfucker don't give a fuck if you can fight it. Wars like this. Who can hack this shit? That's where the wars, it's not gonna be the physical shit. It's gonna be like, you got one motherfucker in the room that could crash some shit like that. Do you know what that fucking do to everybody?
Dude, I was watching this video of this couple that was infected, and they were being dragged out of this building by these security guards in hazmat suits in China. You know, so either police or
was that an exercise or was it real?
It was real.
Yeah, because I saw
people. It was. I want to say it was a man and his wife that both tested positive. I don't remember though, but they were being dragged out. They're being like picking them up like they're like they're criminals.
I saw some videos. I don't know if it was just. I don't know if it was just. It might have just been associated with Corona or some other footage, but I've seen some stuff where motherfuckers like they was pulling this one lady out and they fucking cracked her neck. Next thing you know, she's on ice.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember. And people are crazy on the internet. It might be somebody like a story not related to that, but they change the headlines, get a different clickbait.
Well, when something catastrophic starts happening and people start dying, people justify a lot of crazy shit, man. And one of the things that I bet people will justify is they'll justify manhandling people that they think are not complying with the rules, or people that have the virus. And then shit could get real crazy if that becomes normal.
It is going to become normal because you think about it, like right now when you have cases of people getting frustrated, somebody you inside my body zone, my social distance. And this is when everybody's not even out here, Joe.
Is this in New York?
Yeah, this was just last week.
Why is this person getting dragged off? What happened?
He wasn't wearing a mask.
Oh, he won't wear a mask, so they're just dragging him off because he's not complying?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking crazy,
Making it
man.
all worse because they're all closer. And
Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. But it also is crazy that this guy doesn't think he should wear a mask when he's on a fucking bus crowded, filled with people, while there's a pandemic disease going on. He should have a fucking mask on. So where's the happy middle? The happy middle's not these cops grabbing this guy and physically yanking him off the bus and causing this, very violent moment.
I mean, I think the thing we need to figure more importantly with that is like, put your mask on, son.
Yeah, he didn't have a mask. Maybe he just didn't have it.
Yeah.
We need to make masks available to people.
You don't want
to
lose your life.
Yeah, but to those people on the bus, they're probably very happy that the cops came and pulled that guy off.
To lose your mask because
everybody's got a mask and this guy doesn't.
To lose your life
for a fucking mask. Yeah.
Mask rules everything around me.
Well, there's a terrible video of a bus driver in Chicago, and he makes this video talking about people were on his bus just coughing and constantly coughing with their mouth open. He's like, please. He's like, we're out here risking our health to do this service.
Right.
And, you people are being completely disrespectful
Cover your mouth.
and not caring. And 4 days later, he got it. And now he's dead. So this guy, he's in this video, and then a short time afterwards, he's dead for what he was talking about.
I've heard so many cases of that.
Dude, imagine. All of a sudden, you're a bus driver, and instead of just driving a bus, now you're also worried you're going to die from a pandemic disease, and you have to keep going to work and being surrounded by these people because someone has to drive people around.
They're not getting on them buses no more, bro.
No.
Motherfuckers not getting on them bus. They're not getting on them bus.
When does this start back up, and what is it going to be like, Donnell? Like, what is it going to be like when the gears get going again? They start clink, clink, clink.
It's going to be. It's going to look like the international terminal for Fly Korea in Japan. That's what it's going to look like. Motherfuckers going to be on mask for a while.
Yeah, I think you're probably
They're
right.
going to be masked up for a while.
How long you think? A year?
Yeah, I mean, you got to being able to test vaccine. How do you get rid of it? They're going to teach motherfuckers how not to catch it. Okay, I got it. How do I get rid of it? And I was watching one of those shows on CNN with this black doctor, and she was talking about how they are close to a vaccine or something because they're just extending, I guess, certain tests. They were doing something else that had similar traits. I'm not a doctor. I don't know exactly the story, but it was a story of the study and the research of it had already started.
Oh, so they had already been making the vaccine for the other stuff?
Yeah.
Was it SARS? Is that what it was?
It wasn't SARS. It was a new virus I never heard of, but it was an interesting story because she was, I don't know, it was Gooper, whatever the motherfuckers, what it was, but it was a great conversation. Like, what if, okay, but had realized that something like this is about to happen. Because of this strand of something, this is going to be the next Hercules shit. How do we get ahead of it? And there may be some people out there that had already been thinking that. They're going to find something to cure the shit.
Well, they've definitely been thinking that this could happen.
Because it's not I know it may sound crazy. Certain shit is like, I don't know what has got the world so involved. Not it wasn't specific to a race or anything. It was just like they say in the streets, anybody could catch it.
Anybody could catch it. Yeah,
and that's the panic, and that's where the panic is in every community.
The whole world.
The whole world. Yeah.
The whole world covered with humans. Everybody's got it. It's on in every continent, except Antarctica, I think. Antarctica is the only place that doesn't have cases. That's what's wild about human contact. When you think about how a disease can so quickly spread from China just all over the whole world and shut everything down. They said that if China was honest about it, I don't know if this is true, but this is what I was reading in more than one different story, that China could have stopped 95% of the spread if they were just honest about it in the beginning.
And they say if Donald Trump was honest about it, they could have set in mandates for social distancing and everything a little earlier.
I think a lot of people were real skeptical, unfortunately. A lot of people were real skeptical, and no one anticipated it happening like this. They were giving him a hard time when he was saying that they should stop travel from China. People were calling him racist. Now everybody stopped travel from everywhere.
Yeah, but a lot of people want to call him racist for fucking goddamn anything. If he just say coffee with no sugar, whoa, this is the reason why I don't want to fuck with this motherfucker.
Well, the things get cloudy, right? Because what is the thing? The thing is he wants to stop travel from this place because a disease is in this place. And then the reaction is, well, that's racist to say, and we should be more sensitive, and this is not the time.
Yeah, but people don't understand that Donald Trump don't move off of emotions. The things that he say is not. You got to understand that certain people are built like this. Certain people don't make decisions off of emotions. Right. And that's what so many people get connected and disconnected with a can and whatever. It's like, yeah, I fucking rooted for him. Like, they get connected with the emotions.
100%.
And then certain people like him and people of that like mind, which are mostly business people, they don't fuck with emotions. They only fuck with results. It's like, oh, I feel sorry. Did you think about, bitch, I don't care about none of that. That's not how I work.
But what my point was that if you got to give the guy a hard time about not reacting quick enough to certain things, you also got to give him props for shutting down traffic to places early. But nobody wants to do that because it's a weird one.
Because the people that don't want to do that, Joe, is the ones that are caught up in the emotion.
The ideology.
Some people do not deal with reality.
Right.
Their reality. And not on the Trump. I'm not trying to harp on the Trump shit. But Isaiah Washington. You know Isaiah Washington?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Grey's Anatomy. We have a good friend of mine. I've known him from years in Brooklyn, whatever. He's like when you're a Trump supporter, he's like a loyal Trump supporter. You know what I mean? Or he supports Trump. But I've heard him say, he said, I don't vote for a person, I vote for policies. Mm-hmm. I vote for policies. And I'll give you an example.
Well, this is a weird one, Donnell, because no one had ever experienced this before.
So no
one's doing the right thing.
Haven't experienced what?
Pandemics that shut down the whole world. So when anyone's doing anything right 100%. Now, everyone's going to be criticized.
100%. But you got to do like what people don't like. I watch both outlets, Fox and CNN.
That's confusing, isn't it?
It's confusing, but CNN just CNN is like a nagging girlfriend. It's like, oh, bitch, shut the fuck up. The same shit, bitch. Yo, Joe, you like CNN have you like, bitch, oh, you don't got nothing else to argue about 5 years ago. You haven't found another argument. CNN's be like, you remember that time? You remember that time? Fox be like, bitch, listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you listen to too much CNN, bruh, you don't even know what the fuck is going on with nothing other than how much you hate this motherfucker.
It didn't used to be that way.
I know.
CNN used to be pretty straight journalism.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
now,
their relationship with Trump is so toxic for both of them.
It's so
for both of them.
It's so I want to get you back. It's so like, girl, I'm gonna get you back. Girl, so true. It's so Popeye's chicken. Girl, you go with 11 herbs and spices. Girl. It's so, and like, the point I'm making is like, but when I listen to both, because you want to hear both perspectives if you really care. You listen to both. But then when I go to Fox and listen to it, I at least hear, okay, this is what our plans are. This is what we want to do. Mm-hmm. This is what the plans are. This is what the president says he's going to do. This is what the government wants to do. You go on the other side, all you hear is like, 1,000 people, more people die. That's all you hear is the numbers. You don't have no solution. And then the problem is, Joe, people get fucked up on how they want your solution conveyed to them. It's like, can you give it to me slow, Joe? Can you have Vaseline with it? Or are you going to be rough with me? And they can't take a motherfuckers can't handle rough. I'll put it like this, right? I'm a Democrat, right? And I love being a Democrat until tax season. You know how close I was to putting the Make America Great Again hat when it was time to file my taxes, son? Yo, but the point I'm making, and I'm probably an example for a lot of people. I'm a small business, you know. I'm a vet. I'm a veteran. I served the United States Air Force. I did my times. I'm not going to say how good of a airman I was, but I committed 4 years of my life to this country. You know what I'm saying? And it is not about, let's take away the shit about, but the way he made me feel, and then he said that he's such a so-and-so. Let's take away that. In my situation, there's a lot of people that I'm a small business and I'm a vet. And the things that he do for those type of people, it's easy for me to say, I could justify it if all I'm thinking about is money and paper. I could justify, I fuck with him because of that. But it's people, the disconnection right now with this election, I feel, is that everybody everybody's stakes is on emotions. It's all on how I feel. Oh, I like this guy, like that guy, like this guy, whatever. You know, this is like, this motherfucker was going to come into this election and just beat the shit out of anybody. The economy was doing well. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing was with anybody getting upset. Joe, what are you going to fight this motherfucker with this time? You don't have no more fighting styles.
Yeah, well.
But being pissed?
It's not good for anybody. It's definitely not good for him. It's not good for them. But that's what sells. Like, this battle sells. The battle sells. this is when all this dust settles, we're going to reevaluate so many different things about our culture, because we're going to realize how temporary this civilization we put together really is, especially if we hit a Great Depression after this. If we don't bounce back, things can get real ugly for a lot of people. They're going to feel very misled and mismanaged and mishandled.
But I don't think it's going to. I don't think that's my personal opinion. I don't think that's going to be the case. Like dealing with this again, not a doctor, professor, anything like that, but it's more technology involved these days. There's more of a possibility that of making profit off of this, and you know how when you can make money off of something, how people feel about that. Just like you was telling me about the testing situation, like. It's like, have you had a test? Like, some motherfuckers don't even know where to begin. And the reason why I don't know where to begin, because like this, because what they tell you, Joe, what do they tell you? They say, don't come up in this motherfucking hospital or whatever unless you feel a little fucked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody doesn't have the benefits that you have. You know what I mean? And this is no disrespect or anything. So what happens? So what they're trying to say is, I got to be sick before I go see. That's some people's reality, Some people like this, don't go check. You know what I'm saying? But what this shit is going to switch over. We're gonna not switch over, but we're gonna start having a level of confidence, and that's going to be because we're going to handle this shit quick.
But this is what I think.
We're going to handle it
make
quick.
People understand that
motherfuckers will get money.
We need a certain amount of health coverage for
100%
for everybody, and this is a perfect example of that.
100%.
Because the more people get sick from this, the more everyone else is going to get sick too.
The more people get sick off of anything, Joe, anything. Like anything. I keep saying it. The thing that's going to enlighten everybody and understand about this is like, I know you don't want to get the COVID, but while you try not to get COVID, you stopping a lot of shit.
Yes,
you're stopping a lot of shit. Goes back to you talking about diet and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's why. Like, they're like, in the black community, like, oh, it's hitting hard. Motherfuckers, come on, man. Like, we talked about this before. Nobody wants to deal with fucking reality. And the reality be right in your fucking face. The reality is always in our face, Joe.
I think the large number of people that live like that, Donnell, is just a symptom of this crazy society. Now that this has been shook up, I think a lot of people are going to reevaluate. They're going to think about the things that are putting them in, in jeopardy.
Know what? I believe this. The weak people are going to get weaker, and the strong, I think something like this, weak people get weaker.
Yeah.
And strong people get stronger.
It could happen, or weak people can figure out that what they're doing could really end their life, and that they've been fucking up and they need to step up, and then they'll step up now because they realize that this is all temporary.
But you could be weak and smart at the same time.
Sure, there's a lot of people like that are really intelligent, but they don't have control of their emotions, or they don't have the control of their discipline. That's real common.
Discipline is the number one.
That's a big one.
It's a big one.
It's what gets things done. It's the thing that gets things done more consistently than anything is discipline.
And nobody's not too often you can hear somebody say this, Joe. Why didn't that happen? They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I was young." They're not too many people gonna say it, and it comes down to I wasn't disciplined enough.
That's what's so fucked up about this crisis is that there's people that were doing the right thing, they were disciplined, and still they get their livelihood taken away from them, and then they get their health taken away from them. They did the right thing. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah,
like
and
that's what's never happened to us before.
And that's what it's not funny, but that's what when it comes to even death. Mm-hmm. Like when you hear about somebody dying and you were close to them or you know a story of them or something. Now when people die, you hear this right here. Oh shit, we lost a good one today. Like the other days, we lost those guys. They weren't good ones. It's like out of all these deaths, like this one today. Oh, we lost a good one.
Well, there's sometimes when someone dies that you're like a fan of, like Prince or David Bowie or Bill Withers. When Bill Withers died real recently, it was like, oh, that guy
live
died.
at Carnegie Hall. I know.
That song "Use Me." I mean, come on, man.
You ever heard that song?
Great songs.
That song, "You Are My Friend."
Yeah.
One of us has to say he's sorry, or we could never be friends again. I said some things that caused you sorrow. I just want you as my friend. We're here today and gone tomorrow. Wow. None of us knows when life will end. That song, man, live at Carnegie Hall. And I'm gonna tell you the thing I dug about Bill Withers the most. Me being a comedian and loving music, you know, I don't know everything about music, but like if you heard his Live at Carnegie Hall album, the transitions from one song to the next, you would appreciate it if you haven't heard it, Joe. The comedic timing of it, listening to the crowd, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like the storytelling of it is like his little huss and the things he would say was all on point. He took a crowd to suspense, to build up the joke, and then going back to, I love that. When he introduced Grandma's Hand, he said, Grandma used to go to church, and it wasn't one of them churches where you go and you say, if you believe in Jesus, it's all right. He said, no. He said, Grandma went to one of them churches where the beat start getting to you and you get them that stove, you say, ow! That was Grandma church. Then he said, I love that old lady. I love that old lady. Grandma's hands. Oh! If you haven't heard that album in a while and you know it's classic, and the thing about Bill Withers, people don't know, the youngins, the millennials, they don't know half the songs, half the remakes, whatever, half the shit they get connected with came from him.
Yeah.
Imagine, I wonder if he was on the Lionel Richie level of royalties or whatever, but this fucking album right here.
How about Lean on Me?
Boom, boom, boom. Lean song. You know what I'm tell you? I use that song as the background theme for my roasting of Charlemagne the God. Yo, I just want to say, I have theme song for this motherfucker, Joe. Yo, I have theme songs. Sometimes in our life, I pray for him. Because I slaughter him, son.
Why do you guys go at it so hard? I don't understand. You brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
Joe, I'll explain.
I brought it up earlier, but I brought it up about...
I'll explain it, Joe. Joe, listen, this was a day of frustration right here. Okay? I've known this crew for some years, Joe. Angela Yee go back 20 years. DJ Envy go back 15. We used to do Hot 97 together. Charlemagne, we worked at MTV's Guy Code together, right? It's all love. We know each other, right? And then I used to go up there. I'm up there so much because I work at Caroline's on Broadway. You know, that's where you promote it. So I go up there. They started this thing where they want to play pranks on me, right? Like, oh, we got him. You know, one prank was when he comes in, no one laughs at his jokes, all right? Right? This one, look, it's like this. One of them is like this, Joe. When he comes in, don't laugh at his jokes, right? So I go in, and I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just funny, and nobody laughing or anything. And I'm like, Joe, I'm thinking like this. I'm like, I know the fix is on, Joe. Joe,
I know. You were suspicious.
Joe.
Something was wrong.
Joe, have you ever seen me in a room and nobody's laughing?
I can't say that, no.
Okay, that's pretty much everywhere I go. I'm just being honest. So
you know you're funny.
I know I'm funny. But not only that, but my energy, even if I'm not funny, my energy is good. I came in, they trying to play it. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to tear everybody up in this room. I'm like, I don't hit women, but I'm going to hit you with something, right? And they was like, we told him not to laugh. And I'm like, okay, little corny joke. 3 or 4 other times I go there, they keep doing these jokes. And I'm like, stop doing the motherfucking jokes. Like, I know we're friends or whatever, but at the same time, I do have a resume. I have done stuff. I'll continue to do stuff. As much as they want to play, this is the reality of it.
Do you feel like it's disrespectful?
No, it's a disrespectful way. Like anything you try to call me not funny, you see me stand up 6,500 people at Radio City Music Hall. Charlemagne, you said out of your voice that Donnell, I went to see Radio City Music Hall. Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, and Donnell performed that night. He said, I love all of them, and I ain't taking away nothing. He said, but Donnell, that night was on. You saw that, nigga. You saw all this shit. So you trying to say you corny, which is an allergic word to a black comedian. You corny, like, no. You trying to give the impression that I'm corny and not funny. It's just a waste of time and it don't make sense. So now that we get little joke stuff off, Now, give me a real interview. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I say. Give me a real interview.
Okay. Does he know you feel like this? You ever talk to him off the air?
Yeah, we talked about it. But what I'm saying is, this is how petty he is.
Okay.
This is the reason why I won't stop. Because he won't stop, right? He'll say, I've expressed myself to him like this. And he said, that's why I don't like playing with you, nigga. You too sensitive, right? So we go back. I was like, okay, fuck it, let's go back. And like we've had the conversation, but what I realized, Joe, is that it doesn't matter what I say. He's never going to give it. You know, he's never going to do it. So what I have to do is continue to destroy him on the level that I need to destroy him at. The memes, I'm ruthless.
I've seen them.
And people are like,
I thought it was an inside fun joke, though. I didn't know it was so
it isn't.
serious.
No, it's serious and it's funny.
Okay.
Joe, everything is always underlining. There's always something underlying. It's like, no, we're cool, but
So it's you never feel comfortable. Can't just hang.
I like him. And the reason, I like him. We'll have fun together. I have said to him, you know why? I said, I know why you think you're a sex symbol and you look good. I said, because I was in South Carolina this weekend, right? And I said, you are the best looking person in South Carolina. You should feel like a king. We fuck with each other like that. But also know his radio background, I'll never take this away from him. This is where we differ. His radio background is coming from South Carolina. You know how it is getting in radio, going from a market like South Carolina to New York. New York is the #1 radio market, period. You go from that, from a PA or intern, whatever entry-level position you had, you go from that and you build and you grind and you're a country motherfucker. You're a country motherfucker, and now you're Charlemagne the God.
He works hard. And he does that podcast with Andrew Schultz, too.
Yeah, they do it.
What is that, Brilliant Idiots?
Brilliant.
That's a very good podcast.
And I'm a person of this.
The two of them together.
They're great. I'm a person like this, Joe. If you're doing it, I can't hate on that. You're doing it. You do a really good job at it. You doing late night and all that type of shit. I respect that. But stop with the same you can't clown me. You can't clown me. I'm not you can't clown me. You're giving people asses for Christmas presents.
Giving people asses?
You didn't know this, Joe?
No. Like
Charlemagne,
fake asses?
Joe, you didn't know this?
I didn't know this.
What the fuck are you doing, man?
Just busy doing other stuff.
Oh, yeah, we went through this again, right? I forgot we went through this with Spitting 16, too. I'm sorry.
This is different, like giving away fake asses.
A fake ass. Now, can I play in this scenario?
Yeah.
Before you see this video.
Okay.
Right. And I'm not trying to say anybody's gay, but sometimes people are real comfortable. Real comfortable.
Okay.
If Jamie were to come in here like this and be like, oh, Joe, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you since Holly. I got a gift for you. You'd be like, thanks, Jamie. That's nice. You'll open the box, and you open that box, and you open it, and then as Jamie gave you this as a gift.
Okay, here we go.
Look.
Let's open it. Let's see. What is this?
Now, this is Friends.
Is that a rubber ass? What is that?
Look, Joe.
Oh, he made a mold of his ass.
Right.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
It's
kind of funny.
By how long?
For a little bit.
For how long?
Like just as a ridiculous thing to buy someone.
Envy goes and put his finger in the booty hole.
Well, you do what you got to do. You want to get a
laugh.
What
the fuck are you talking about, man?
I don't care.
Really?
No.
Okay, all right. You're comfortable. You would be comfortable. Black ass.
Well, look at the balls. I didn't know about the balls.
What the fuck? Maybe this is the wrong show.
So was that an exact mold, or did you just like give him a picture and say, do your best? Didn't go.
That's
important.
See, Joe.
Like porn stars do that.
Here it is.
Do you know that's what they do?
And guess what, Joe? And this is what I try to say. You really appreciate that. That's white boy humor right there. You love that, Joe.
It's not my favorite thing.
It's not your favorite thing.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's not my favorite thing.
It's not your favorite thing, but that's a humor you can respect. I can't respect that. That's what you're telling me. Like, dude, I teabag dudes my whole life.
No, I have never done that. But what they're doing is
look, Joe.
That's unnecessary.
Exactly.
Unnecessary and rude.
And this, okay.
And no one likes it like that anyway.
Oh my God! Oh my God! This is the setup.
That's the thing that with porn stars, man, they get paid to get like molds of their body, and then dudes.
So
can,
you're
like,
trying to
fuck
say
them from
Charlemagne is a porn star?
That's how they make those.
I
There's
don't
no
know how
reason
they-
why there's a hole.
Okay, Joe, I don't know how the fuck they made that one, but don't bring it to my interview and don't
Look,
keep putting it in my fucking face. Is that
Just,
fair?
Donnell, just think about this. Why is there a hole? Dude, here, if it's a mold of your ass, the only reason why there's a hole is they put it there. They put a place where you can stick something in.
And
That is
exactly,
the
Joe.
same thing as
And the
porn
point
stars.
I'm making, Joe, is that that's not what you gift your mans.
I understand.
I understand what you're saying.
understand your position.
I know you're going to know how to break it down the whole ass
wouldn't
and the anal
do it
cavity.
either. I wouldn't do it
and all
either.
that type of shit.
That's not what I'm saying.
And then would you be sketchy of a guy? And then
What are they going to fill it up with cream? What is that? They're polishing it?
Lotion. it.
Look,
Okay.
look, that's DJ Envy. He got a family, Joe. He's got a family, Joe. No, he's got a family and a dope son that's good. Like, Envy's a great father.
Listen,
He's got
when
a family.
When you're there, go for it. Once you already got the party rolling, you're fingering a rubber butt.
Oh,
why
come
not,
on, man.
Why
Come
not
on,
cover
man.
it with cocoa butter? I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
So you
Do what
don't
gotta
think
do.
you don't? Okay, now okay.
I wouldn't want that. So I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
want
want
someone
what?
to give me that. I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want to have to deal with it when I got.
You don't
want to
be around the type of motherfuckers that think
I
that's
don't want to
funny.
be fingering it. No, I don't. No,
Now you're going understanding my point.
I understand.
The point I'm making is that I know that's your thing, the booty stuff. Blah, blah, blah. You guys have fun. You know, like y'all have fun doing it. I'm not of that place or space.
You're not into fingering rubber butts in
Not at
front
all.
of people on camera.
Not
I
at
get
all.
it.
And then they went back and forth, son. They went back and forth like they keep doing the corny jokes. And the last time I went up there, I already knew they was gonna do. They was gonna try to do a joke. You know those horns they take to soccer matches?
Yeah.
I went to the Breakfast Club with a bag full of them motherfuckers. And every time he said something, Joe, I did like this.
Jesus.
I shut him down. He couldn't talk, right? Then I'm shaking it like, I'm like this. I got the motherfucker like this. The Freon is freezing my hand, right? I'm shaking it. I'm like, And then my shit went dead. Then he said, yeah, motherfucker, you ain't got no more spray. I went right in my bag, Joe, and I got another clip. I knew you would like that part more than anything. I clipped up on his ass. I was using windage. You know what windage is on the gun, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was using, and I tore his ass up. And I'm smoking him. Then they still want to do the jokes. They still want to do the jokes. Then they like this. Joe, they won't stop, Joe. These niggas won't stop, Joe. They still won't stop, right? These motherfuckers won't stop, I'm telling you, Joe. So now they like, oh, yeah, your interview is over. We're going to leave, guys. They get up
And leave you there.
and leave me there.
That's a joke. What'd you do? Take over the radio show? That's
Joe,
what I would imagine
Joe,
you would do.
It was about to go down. They said, we're leaving. I was like, the fuck out of here. Angela Yee, that's my girl. Yee stayed. Angela Yee said, they said, you going? Angela's like, no, I'm going to stay. They left the room. Me and Angela Yee in there. Now, the interview I kind of wanted them to give me, the series interview or whatever, me and Angela Yee clicked right into the series interview. The motherfuckers bust back in. Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, no, nigga, y'all gone. Go. And they keep on fucking with me, Joe. You know I'm sensitive, Joe. You know I'm sensitive, Joe. You know I'm sensitive, Joe. You know I'm fucking.
The look on your face. They keep on fucking with me,
They
Joe.
keep, Joe, and they keep
Is
on.
this going to be like Tiger King?
I ain't going to jail fucking with them motherfuckers. I can tell you that shit. It's not going to be, but now it's like, it's fun. Every time I got an opportunity, it's so much fun. Let me show you. I got to just show you. I have an arsenal. I have an arsenal of shit, son. Hold on. Bearded Humor be making these joints. Look, hold on. Look at
Bearded
this.
Humor?
Yeah, that's my guy. Look at these headlines. Bearded Humor, he's so dope. Look at that. Did you know this story?
Jussie Smollett allegedly had sex with his attacker at Chicago bathhouse. And then it's him.
And it's who? Jussie and who else?
That looks like you photoshopped Charlemagne's face.
I didn't Photoshop Charlamagne shit. That was him,
Not
son.
the same. It's a terrible Photoshop. Look at that, Jamie.
That's not a terrible
And he's got a
Photoshop.
MAGA hat on.
You got the message.
Yeah.
You got the message. That's the type of venom I'll continue to
He's
spit
probably
on.
thinking that's funny.
He does.
That's hilarious.
How can you not?
How could you not?
Because I tore his ass up. I don't want to. Yeah, but I will say, people ask, and the thing about everywhere I go, people like, yo, the Breakfast Club, they be fucking with you, son. They be fucking with you, son. So I just wanted to
Do you think there's a way to do a show, like within the next month, where
Are you gonna produce
test
it?
everybody?
Are
If
you going to
they-
produce it?
No. I mean like a comedy show. Like
Because the
doing
last time you
stand-up.
said you was going to, and the last time you said,
You mean podcast?
yeah, last time you said, because
did it.
No, that's not what you said, Joe.
No. What you tried to force me into doing was
I didn't try to
produce your
force
show.
you anything.
I feel like you did.
Jamie, did I force him into anything, Jamie?
Well-
No, I'm not saying. I'm not trying. It's your spot. I can't blow your spot up. But you said I didn't force. You said you was producing the first episode.
I said I would do it. I said I'd produce it.
And Jamie was not excited about it at all. He wouldn't even take the shit off my phone.
But Jamie was doing something with you, right?
No, he didn't. It wasn't. He didn't do it on
What
purpose.
was the issue?
I was trying to Bluetooth. I was trying to airdrop the episode that I did in the car.
So Jamie was producing it. So
He
was
said it,
putting
but
up.
he started not taking my calls also.
Is that what happened?
Yo,
What happened, Jamie?
I didn't hit you on
I felt
DM.
like something definitely we did
Jamie, I
help
didn't
you get
sign-
off the ground.
Oh,
Right.
100%. That's why I can't take this
What
so
did
far.
you do? You put it up for him. You uploaded it for
No,
him.
he sent me the video, and then we got the video, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened that day, like including the podcast with RZA. We were supposed to get a song from RZA, which you got, I think, right?
Yeah, the
Opening
beat.
song.
I got the beat.
You never sent it to me.
The beat?
How was I supposed to put it on that video?
I didn't know you was...
Well,
See,
All right, I'm sorry.
we felt like this was going to be more work than we anticipated.
I knew it. Jamie didn't want to do it. As soon as the show
I
was
don't
over.
think it's that. I mean, if that kind of stuff where he's got to like figure out how to put the beat on the I don't know why you guys didn't communicate properly.
We did communicate. He wasn't
blaming
fucking with me,
both
Joe.
of you.
Joe, he wasn't fucking with me, Joe.
I don't believe that.
When I walked to the side,
Jamie's he always responds. What happened, Jamie?
I don't want to say it on air.
Oh,
That's all. I'll remind you guys off air.
okay.
Joe,
He'll
and I
remind
went over
you.
there.
He doesn't want to call you out.
Yo, no. When I went over there, Jamie started breathing hard. When I went over, he was like, it's going. This is what you said, Jamie. I'm telling you, said you looked at that little scroll line. You did like this. Your eyes blinked, bro. You did like this. You said it's not. It's going to take too long.
All
And
right. Here's what happened. Now
Okay.
I'm remembering it again.
Okay.
In the middle of we'd finished your podcast and we started the next one with RZA. I have to do stuff in the middle of doing two podcasts.
That's what I didn't know, Jamie.
During that, you came up to me and started not making me, but asking me to help you.
Right.
I had to get the next podcast ready.
And I had no idea.
And at
that.
the same time, I was trying to communicate with you how to use AirDrop, and you weren't on the Wi-Fi, weren't on the Bluetooth, and that's the best way to get the video to me. We were trying to figure out if you could do that or a Dropbox.
So,
or,
Jamie, you didn't hear me say this? You didn't hear me say this, Jamie? This part of the story? You didn't hear me say this, Jamie? Jamie, I don't want to upset you. What do I need to do to make this situation easier for you? I never said that.
we got that part figured out though.
Yeah, but that was the first thing. But see, I didn't know the urgency of. Here goes my narcissistic attitude, whatever. I was thinking about me, and I didn't think about you had another show. So you were 100% right. I fucked
Well, I
up.
contacted Jamie, and Jamie told me that you got somebody else to do it then. Like, who else
And that's
did you
what
get to do
got
it?
David's helping you now, right?
Yeah, I did it because somebody wouldn't answer my fucking phone call.
That wasn't me.
Okay, all right, it got done. But here's the thing, and
Listen,
like you,
I'm happy you're up and running.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I could never be mad at that situation because that was the kick in the ass for me to do it. You know what I'm saying? And like the fact that, like that day, it was the birth of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that day was so special to me. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be at the RZA podcast. I told you, I was like, I just got off a flight, haven't seen my son in a while.
Right.
I said, I was like, fuck. You was like, the RZA. I was like, yeah, nigga. I said, yeah, nigga. I just called you nigga. I said, yeah, nigga. But my son, I ain't seen my son. I got a red eye, right? And remember that. And I was like, right before I was going to leave, you asked me again. You said, you sure? I was like, nigga, I got to see my son, right? I love Wu-Tang, but I got to see my son. And I walk out the door. I'm about to leave. I'm dipping in the car. Fucking RZA pull up. And the first thing he said was, what's up, Ashley Larry, you funny motherfucker? Hey, Joe, I said, man, fuck my son, nigga. That's the RZA, Wu-Tang forever. My son don't even look like me, nigga. I'm good, nigga. I'm about to interrupt the shit out of this, son. That's what happened. So if I was out of pocket, I'm going to tell you, because I would have never been of the notion like, you better do this. I was, nigga, anybody, America, can y'all understand? Joe Rogan and Jamie said they're going to produce my first podcast. RZA come through the fucking door saying, I'm going to give you a track.
That's a lot of things that happen in a day.
That's a lifetime, motherfucker. Joe Rogan just endorsed my shit. Jamie said that RZA came in bong bong trying to be a comedian, and he said he was going to give me a beat. I was like, man, when we went to that podcast, I was on fucking cloud nine, bro.
When you do your podcast, what are you doing? Twice a week? How many days a week are you doing?
I do it. It all depends. Like twice. I do one. Sometimes I do two. Sometimes I do one. It all depends on how I feel. If I think I can gut
Whatever
two,
you feel like doing.
yeah,
Isn't that nice?
yeah, I love it. I'm telling you,
Whenever you feel it.
man, Joe. I'm gonna tell you something. From that day, I will be forever grateful for that conversation. You know, because it put me on the path of like everybody that starts this business, they want to be you. They want to be you. When they start, they don't look at the steps, Joe. They don't look at the steps. The only thing they see is you now. You got some loyal fans, but when it comes to being somebody being introduced to the game or whatever, you're the grail. You're like, I want to, nigga, you can't just do that, motherfucker. You got to fight for that shit. You got to go through a whole bunch of shit. You can't do that. But what you could say is like, I want to have the work ethics that motherfucker have.
That's everything.
That's everything.
Just keep doing it.
And
and if you keep doing it, you get better at it. That's
when I
that's
first
it
started.
too.
When I was stressed, you said I was sensitive because I didn't know that. I'm not in control of the podcast world. I'm in control of a stage.
Yeah.
If I go on the stage, nigga, you come at me, I'm gonna tear your ass up. You come at me with the trolly shit or whatever, I don't know. I don't know how to act. There's some new shit. And then when I first started doing it, I never promised anybody crazy. I was like, it's gonna evolve. And even the people that I'm working with, I said, listen, man, it's a learning process. I said, but every week, we got to grow. Every week got to be something different. If our sound was kind of shaky the week before, next week we can't have that sound issue. Of course we're going to make mistakes, but we can't repeat the same mistakes. That's when it gets to be a nuisance. Let's grow. Let's grow in terms of the mic, the posters, everything.
Yeah, it's like everything else, man. Just more you think about it, the more you can improve it. The more you think about what you did that maybe you could have done better. It's not ever done. Like, I'll have a bad podcast to this day. Sometimes it just doesn't click, or I'm off, or my brain's not firing that good. It's gonna happen. No way around it.
But if they dig you, they'll tune in to find out.
Well, they kind of could tell. If someone listens to you for so many hours, they kind of get it. It's just like there's some days, like any other human being, there's some days like physically you don't feel as good as you feel other days. You're run down. Your brain doesn't work that way that way either. When you're run down, your brain doesn't work well. It's just like sometimes I'm just not as sharp or sloppy, or maybe I'm not as enthusiastic as I should be. Maybe not tuned in as much. Like, it's all about being tuned in, man.
I did, and I've had some, and it's so funny you say, because every time I've done an episode, right, I'm like this. You know, when I get off stage, I know when I ripped. You know, you like,
yeah.
I'll do a podcast, and I'm like, did anybody see the scorecard? Right? I'm like this, Joe. I'm like, yeah, you know how they motherfucker like this, and you like this, and like, and still like, oh yeah. But for some reason, those moments, I'm like, I don't know, because it's hard. I can't be critical of myself when I'm talking.
It's hard, man.
You know, I can't think. But the times when I thought it was going to be like whatever was some of the best. It felt good, man. It felt really good. Yes. And this shit feel good from everybody talk about you running the RZA podcast. That motherfucker gave me 4 beats, bro. And I didn't cut this beat up into all type of shit. So I got commercials, I got ass, I got the remix. This one fucking beat is so dope.
Do you see the thing with him and DJ Premier?
Yeah, I was in and out of it.
How interesting is that?
It's like, interesting.
That's a great way to like make something out of all this shit.
But you know what, Joe? I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because that's the new thing. Everything is the versus thing now, Joe.
Right.
The battle. Mm-hmm. And then people like, even with that, when people were like this, they said, who won? And in a battle like that,
everybody won.
Everybody won.
Everybody won.
Hip-hop won.
You also, people won because you're watching it while it's happening, and these guys are having a good time, knowing that all these people are getting into it online, and it's all going down on your phone. So everything is this completely new thing from top to bottom. The quarantine's completely new. The fact that RZA and DJ Premier, dude, I'm a huge Gangstar fan. I've loved Gangstar from a long time ago, man.
That's like real rap, and that's what was so dope about this. And this is the point that I was trying to make on the RZA joint. I was talking about, like, one of the things that I'm impressed about RZA, and I know people's like this, you didn't let RZA talk, really, RZA talk, whatever. But I felt like motherfuckers say the same shit. Same shit. I know it's his voice to say it, but I'm like, anything else that we know about RZA? And I'm more impressed on being able to create a group as iconic as Wu-Tang is. That's it. And to be able to say, you know what? not saying it was the strife or anything. It's like, I'm a bad motherfucker. I can flip genres. I can do whatever. I'm going to show another writing style. So that's one of the things that I personally respected about him and his journey.
They built one of the most iconic bands in all of music.
It's the Black Grateful Dead. Or what did you tell me, Fish or some shit?
No, Fish is a copy of the Grateful Dead. They would have to be
I mean,
the Black
when I
Dead.
say that, a band that can tour forever.
Yeah, forever. But there's something about them. It's like what they stand for is is that expression that the sum is greater than its parts? So, like, if you counted up all of them together.
Hold on.
You right?
Hold on.
Together, they just work perfectly.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, Wu-Tang, that motherfucking joint, son. All right, I'm good, son.
They were all so original, too. And, and ODB, when ODB went big, that was a part of their master plan, though, right?
What, ODB?
Yeah, when he was doing that "Baby I Got Your Money" song. Come on, man! It's still
I don't
to this
think that-
day, when you hear that song, that's one of my all-time favorite songs. That's a happy song.
But it's
Baby, I got your money.
and he was like, ODB was ODB.
Yeah.
Like when the only thing that I liked about what your fans said, son, the nickname they gave me, because they was giving me Wu-Tang names after that shit, right? They called me the Old Dirty Interrupter. Right? And I was like this. I had to give a thumbs up on that one, son. They called me the Old Dirty Interrupter. And that
hilarious.
shit. And the thing about it was, that shit, the Dirty Interrupter, it blew up so much. RZA hit us up. They were doing a 25-year loud 25-year loud record anniversary at Radio City Music Hall. Wu-Tang, a whole bunch of groups, right? And RZA reached out to us, and he wanted us to do a video to introduce the Wu-Tang on stage. Me and Dave was touring. We were somewhere, and we did a video, and they played at Radio City Music Hall, and the video was like, "Yo," Dave was like, "Yo, what's up, Radio City Music Hall? Did you see me coming in? Let me say something, son. Let me say. Did you ever see it?"
No.
Oh, man, it was a great-ass moment, man. And as much as people want to shit on me about he ruined the podcast, and I know most of it was the energy Dave had, but that little connection came through. I was like, you motherfuckers done woke up a beast. You ever be so mad, Joe, it make you go do something?
Wait a minute. I have seen this video. I have seen it. It's like a selfie camera.
Yeah, it's a selfie camera.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's right.
And
they
then,
played that while the concert was going on.
And then then it was like, man, it was fire. That it probably didn't even make page 6 or whatever, but it was like, to know that is a part of my life. You know what I'm saying? Those relationships, it's just fucking dope, man. Like, RZA gave me a beat, nigga. Come on, man.
It's pretty impressive.
RZA gave me a beat. Shout out to my whole crew, Julius.
And that's what you use for the podcast opener, right?
Yeah, but it's like the intros. They like cold opens, but and I don't want to be like overly produce or anything, but I've established something with the intros where I think people kind of look forward to like how this will play, not knowing what,
Yeah, for sure. It's just that you're just able to express yourself so easily there. When you do something like that where no one has any input, it's just you to them. It's like you're basically doing a lot of what you do when you do radio shows anyway. You just do it to the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you rant for the whole world.
And you don't know, the hardest part is like, you don't know they're listening yet. You got to wait.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to wait for the response on stage. You knew that shit was whack or not.
Yeah. It's just a different thing.
But it's
just
like,
a different thing to focus on.
It's been fun. It's been so dope. And now it's like with the COVID-19 and everything, it's like I really have time to put into it. And I'm really having fun doing it. It's fun.
That's beautiful, man. it is all about finding something to occupy your time that you enjoy. That's a big part of what life's all about. What I'm hoping this does too for people once the dust settles and the economy starts to bounce back, I'm hoping people, when they go forward, they're going to make choices based on what they want to do, what they really want to, what they really are excited by, what they're going to enjoy, not on what they think is the safest option, not on what they think is best for the long term.
They have to now because they feeling what's important now.
Yeah, they're feeling it.
They have to.
Feeling it.
They feeling it. So it's like, what do we do? What do we do?
What do we do?
What do we do?
Why is that me?
What do we do?
Why did you, when you do an impression of me, why do you say, what do we do?
Because everything is, not all the time, but I know, what do we do? But it's not just what do we do. It's like a movement. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And while what are we doing? You're telling us what we need to do, but you still say, what do we do?
Because I'm never sure.
But you sound like, you sound like you right about everything. You don't know too many motherfuckers that sound like that.
I definitely don't sound like I'm right about everything. I'm wrong about a lot of shit. But I'm right about what I think.
You don't sound like it.
I'm right about what I think, and then I know this is how I think. I'm pure in my intention. I'm not always correct.
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do with intention, Joe? What do we do with intention? What do we do? Do we ignore it? Do we ignore it? What do we do?
Don't get sucked into your phone, baby.
Don't get
reading comments. Don't do it. It's just time you can never get back.
That's important.
It's time you can never get back. You're too creative. You're doing too much good shit. You're doing too much funny shit. That bit that you posted up on Instagram the other day, I love that bit about how women love text messages because there's no way you would ever let them say that many words to your face.
No, son, you would not do it. That first paragraph, it's like, not today, bitch. Not today. You're going to save this for somebody else.
Yeah, when they're giving you this fucking 1, 2, 3,
4
4,
pages.
5, 6 pages in a row. Like, Jesus.
Shut the fuck up.
How many text messages are coming in? Are we reading to each other here?
And then,
sorry, Jamie.
but they're all stocked up, and then you hit K and they'll fucking lose themselves.
K is hilarious.
K is a motherfucker. And the
K,
emojis.
whenever someone's that's so passive aggressive, you don't even write okay, just K.
Just K. It's like I don't want to hear anything. It's like please. It's like a please.
You can kind of get away with K. You can kind of get away with okay. But if you write some people write a bunch of K's. Like if you do that, that's like you're like dismissing them, right? Like okay.
But you can never stop at 3 Ks.
No,
3 Ks is like
you gotta go to 4. You
What
gotta keep going.
if you just liked that message now instead of hitting K, even if you just liked it,
yeah,
to the girl back, is that
that's weird, man. Girls get upset at that.
Is that more passive?
Yeah, I feel like girls want you to write it back. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Bye. They want you to say it back, Jamie.
Nah, man.
You can't just fucking like their thing. Because what if they have Android?
It says it. It's a text message to them that says you liked this message.
How weird
it's
is that?
Fucking confusing as shit.
And I didn't like it. I just thumbed up because I don't have no middle options.
That's how they keep us divided.
Yeah.
Ian Edwards is right. Android and Apple. That's how they keep us divided.
That's so the separation is real.
That's so real, man.
Yeah.
You can't even airdrop me.
I got that weed. What was that weed?
Good weed, right?
That shit was I never had that from
Speed weed. This is all Speed Weed's blunts. They're called Loaded. Shout out to my man Gino.
Gino's always got that belt.
I think he's always got the belt. He has literally a bandolier like Clint Eastwood in an old Western where there's these cartridges of blunts all around him. Yeah.
Man,
it's hilarious. You going to keep that on?
No, I just like it, son.
In less than a half an hour, we're going to find out whether or not you got the COVID. Got that Rona. I wish we had done it before.
I didn't know, son.
We'll let everybody know. How you feel? You feel good?
I feel great. That's the thing that, like, that's the thing that's gonna freak motherfuckers out. Like, a motherfucker could feel great and not be great. You don't know.
Yes.
You know?
That's what's scary about this disease is more than any other one. How many people test positive but don't experience any symptoms? And then other people just die. It's like, it is confusing for folks. I think they said the number was between 50 and 70%, right? They test positive, they've come in contact with the virus, they have no symptoms at all. When do you think we're going to get back to normal?
I don't think, again, Joe, it's never going to be another normal. I think
this is it now.
Yeah, this is it. I just think that people are going to build a different...
Imagine if you graduate in high school and this is what happens. This is the world you're looking forward to. Motherfucker. Right when I get out.
Or another thing you could think of, like, I was talking to one of my buddies, and I've been having a really good time with my son making stuff. And he said, man, I know this may sound crazy, but this corona shit, he said, you and your son gonna look back one day and you're gonna be like, hey, Dad, remember when we made that slingshot when the corona was out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, and it's like, you know, the memories are gonna be there all type of ways.
Yeah, you're building memories that you wouldn't have ordinarily built.
Yep.
As long as you're alive and as long as you're healthy. I think the positive side of this, you could always look at the negative side, but the positive side is look how many people are complying. Look how many people are doing the right thing.
Right.
That's
A lot of people.
A lot of people. And they're doing the right thing because they care about their loved ones.
But then people
and
aren't-
hopefully they care about your loved ones.
And people aren't complaining as much. People not there like, fuck it, that's what
I
it
mean,
is.
some people are hurting financially. A lot of people losing their businesses. They're hurting. But the amount of strife, the amount that you see in the streets as far as like riots and protests, it's non-existent. People are understanding we're all fucked. This is like, we didn't see it coming. We all got a deal. I just hope this makes people realize that all that pull them up by their bootstrap stuff, like people love to think that that's how people should be. You know, you should just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, go out there and fucking make something for yourself. That's all true. You definitely should go out there and try to accomplish some goals. But there's going to be times in our lives as a community where some shit goes down and it's not anybody's fault, but they need help. And that's when we have to evaluate what our taxes go to. Because if our taxes don't go to some form of excellent, very accessible healthcare and making that more widespread, then you're basically saying you don't really care about people's health and their survival as much as you care about money. Now, if we're going to commit to that kind of a culture after something like this, well, we're insane. We're not learning anything. We should learn something from this. And what we can learn from this is, like, health-wise, we were not prepared. Whether it's through hospital beds, ICUs, ventilators, social distancing protocols, whatever the fuck it was, we weren't prepared for something like this. But now that we are, we should all go, hey, yeah, you know what, man? No one should not have the money to pay for treatment for this.
So what do we do? What do we do, Joe? What do we do? What do we do?
Change the way we look at our services.
It
That's
sounds
what I
like
think.
you said we got to change thinking, period.
Change thinking, but also change what our money should go to. Our money's got to go to that. It's got to go to that. Like, that's very important for everybody. When people get sick, it spreads to all of us now. We don't want ever to know anyone that you love that's going to die because they can't get health care that's available for people that have money. That we got to stop that. Just like we stopped with the fire department. The fire department goes to people's houses when the fire's on fire because they're worried. Hold on a second. Fire department goes to a house when it's on fire because not just to that house, they don't want it to spread through the whole city. They go. Well, that's the same thing with healthcare. If someone's really sick, if they don't help you and you got coronavirus, you spread it to everybody else, right? You don't get the health care, and you're contagious. It's almost like a fire in a lot of ways, like a viral fire.
But aren't we living in a system where everybody is qualified to have health care?
We should be.
So what is covered California? What the fuck is that all about then?
I don't know, man. I mean, if you think about how much money gets spent on things, right? Whether it's computers, whether it's cars, whether it's houses, whether the things that people buy, how much of a percentage of that, if you could escalate it just a little bit and all of that money goes into just healthcare, not just taxes where no one's accountable, you don't know where the fuck it's going to go. What if everybody's dollar cost $1.05? Just an added 5 cents for most things you buy up to a certain point, and all that money goes straight to healthcare. Wouldn't you be willing to pay, instead of $1.05 for something, if you knew that 5 cents was going to go towards healthcare? That's
what? As a business person, that 5 cent may mean a lot to me as a business person.
You're right. It might.
That's what I'm saying. That's it. That might be for. I can't know. I look at that $1.05. That's only 5 cents. Now, if you talk about that being billions and millions, then
that's why I said up to a certain point, up to a certain amount of money.
Right.
I mean, after a while.
I agree with you.
Yeah. It seems like it would be better for everybody. And it would be better for us to not worry about what happens if you get sick because you don't know if you're going to be able to pay for it. Sometimes people get hit with crazy medical bills after, an unexpected injury or an unexpected disease, time in the hospital. They got a huge bill that they can't fucking pay. It's real common that people go bankrupt because of that kind of shit.
And if you're entitled to it, you got to go get it. I don't know, just, man, this whole COVID shit is so just, ugh. I don't even know if that's a word. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, ugh is a word.
You go back and forth with it, but I think that if anything we can do is like, we must agree there's no going back to normal.
Well, not until they come up with the vaccine. And then even normal, then it's going to be normal that we realize that this happened. And when I say vaccine, I'm not a pro. It's not that I'm saying we got to take the first vaccine that comes down. Don't worry about the microchip. Let's not get crazy. I'm saying a treatment, medicine, something that cures this fucking disease. Just like they've cured every other disease. Just like they've come up with treatments for polio or smallpox or all the other fucking diseases. Leave it to the medical scientists. Leave it to these people that study this shit. They're going to try to figure something out. Once they do, whatever it is, if they can, and once they do, then I hope we ease back into what life used to be like, but with an added knowing
until then
that this shit can go down.
Right, but until then,
the mask.
Not today, Rona.
Are you nervous? Are you nervous about the future? Good, beautiful.
The only thing I can do is be the best of me.
You're definitely not the best of you with a mask on, so take that off.
I know. I got to get ready for dinner too, man.
20 minutes. In 20 minutes, you're going to get tested.
All right.
Excited?
I'm super excited. I'm telling you, it's just like this. When you think about it, it's like you don't even know a motherfucker that know a motherfucker that got a test.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I know that's definitely the direction we're going in because on the news I've been seeing them like testing stations. But I don't know if everybody knows what's the system. And then for what I hear on the news, whatever, don't go to the hospital, don't go. But I guess going to the hospital and testing is different. Don't do this unless you feeling symptoms or feeling bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I read this one article where this doctor was telling people that there's so many people that come that don't have it, but then they go to the hospital in the waiting room and then they get it in there.
Right.
Because like if there's people that have the flu and they don't have coronavirus, but then they go and then they get the coronavirus at the hospital while they're waiting around to find out if they got coronavirus.
Motherfucker have a broken leg, they ain't trying to go to the hospital right now.
I know. So my friend said it. He goes, I'm not going to the hospital for a year. I was like, really?
I told this dude the other day,
year.
This dude, one of my friends was in the hospital, and somebody said, I told him he was in the hospital, he was like, man, fuck that. My leg would be broke. Fuck that. Yep.
God damn it.
We're going to get there, Joe.
I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to figure this out. It's going to be a tragedy for a lot of us. It's going to be bad for business. It's going to be bad for restaurants and comedy clubs and everything else. But at the end, I think we're going to emerge with a better understanding of the temporary nature of life, of our society. And hopefully we'll be just cooler to each other. That's what I'm hoping. Like when I said I was into Bernie Sanders, what I'm into is someone that wants to look out for people that aren't doing as well. And that this is something that we should all think of now.
But you don't fuck with Biden, though. You don't fuck with Biden? That's what the streets say. They say you don't fuck with Biden, son.
It's only because
somebody said ask him about Biden, son. I didn't know if he was fucking with Biden or not.
I think he's in some sort of a state of cognitive decline, and it's not my opinion. It's a very common opinion. It's not just my opinion. It's you watch videos of him. He's stammering. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and they're trying to ignore it. And they would never ignore it if it was anybody else that they didn't agree with or they didn't enjoy. And you watch the fact that they're not concerned that these people that are on these left-wing media shows aren't talking about this and about how important this is. And the only people that are talking about it are people that are on these internet politics shows.
Yeah, but
they're talking about it and bringing it up because they're not beholden.
Motherfuckers just want to win.
They just want to win.
They're
worried about some important things. They're worried about the Supreme Court. They're worried about environmental laws. He's laxed a lot of environmental laws that they feel they should never be relaxed. And then going into the second term, is he going to do even more crazy shit? There was something that just came out today, Jamie. See if you can find that. It was lowering it was for certain toxins that get released into the environment and mercury, lowering the standards. So it was some huge issue with See if you could find it. It was something about lowering the standards for mercury and other toxins that get released, I think, from factories, which is like, whoa, what are we? If that's what we're doing, are we really going to separate?
That was Biden's platform? What was it?
This is Trump.
Oh, sure.
This is Trump. This is the Trump administration. The current administration did this. And what does it say?
It's behind the Washington Post paywall, but it says EPA is going to change a rule for rule cutting mercury pollution. But this is February 17th. It wasn't like
Oh, no,
today
this
or
was
something like
a new article that was out just yesterday that I was reading that was talking about lowering the standards. It was talking about in the middle of this coronavirus lockdown, they're lowering the standards for mercury and some other toxins.
that.
I didn't know no standards up. I didn't know
3
mercury
hours
had
ago.
standards.
3 hours ago. EPA gutting rule credited with coal plant toxic air cleanup. Yeah, see?
Fuck that. What did that black dude do, man?
He catfished somebody. Catfished a female on Snapchat to meet and rob victim.
Shit.
Whoops.
Motherfuckers going getting robbed live.
Look at this EPA shit. Go back to that. Hold on.
Scrolling down.
Okay, sorry. EPA. No. Just let me read the title. They gutted the rule credited with coal plant toxic air cleanup. How the fuck do they even sell that to anybody? Hey, I got an idea. You know that shit that we did that would cause the earth to be healthier? Yeah, fuck that, right? Let's go back. Let's go back to burning mercury. Obama-era rule. The Trump administration is gutting an Obama-era rule that compelled coal plants to cut back emissions of mercury and other human health hazards, limiting future regulation of air pollutants by petroleum and coal plants. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
That anybody would say yes to that. Anybody would say that's one thing that we get to see is our impact on the environment right now. Because if you look around at the pictures of Los Angeles from just 2 months ago versus now in terms of how much smog is there, that's a wake-up call.
I want to know what the black guy did, man.
He catfished someone and robbed them.
That's what I mean. How did he get away with it, Joe?
He didn't. That's why his picture's in the newspaper.
All right, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I kept saying the black dude. I knew you was doing EPA. I was like, what the fuck did he do, stupid?
Florida.
He did it in Florida. Goddamn Florida.
Word.
Donnell. So it looks like we're supposed to do those dates in September now.
Really?
Yeah,
That'd be
supposedly.
interesting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be September 4th and 5th.
I saw that. But you know what? Right now, it hasn't hit because the dates that I had in my book, I'm just, right now, I've been lucky enough right now to keep them on my calendar and just move them.
Move them, yeah.
So it looks like.
We're
if
hoping
it-
we move them, right?
Yeah, we
don't
hope
know.
we move them.
There's
But
no-
the next time you really feel comfortable thinking it's okay is probably like fall.
Right. Hey, was that thing that I said about the Spanish flu, was that true? Because we couldn't find the meme. It wasn't on Charlemagne's page. It was on someone else's.
Yeah, all that other shit was on Charlemagne's page.
The one about the
Re-spreading
Spanish.
it?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if that was true. So the idea was that they were tired. They were celebrating the war, and they broke the public distancing.
Who
I guess
did?
They had, this is in 1918, and then it start the second phase. And what the meme that I read said that it killed the second phase of the flu killed more people than the war did worldwide.
I'm flu storied out, man.
I'm too.
You know, once we go back, oh my God, it's gonna be nothing but Corona jokes.
Corona jokes are gonna be
Quarantine,
What do
niggas got to
you-
do a flip. You got to do something different.
It's going to be so hard. If you go on stage after three dudes, they're all going to talk about the coronavirus.
Dude, don't talk about the coronavirus.
Yeah. But then how can you not talk about the coronavirus?
I can. I don't. It ain't the way I want to fight, but you know
Well,
what I'm saying. Like
Michael
I know.
Yo gets first crack because he almost died.
Yeah.
We should probably have him a moratorium.
And I got the
when
next crack because
clubs
we
get
don't
open.
know. I got
Right?
the next crack.
We're gonna
so-
know. We're gonna find out in 12 minutes.
I gotta go to the bathroom, bro.
Go ahead. Let's wrap it up. Did you find
Close.
anything?
I don't know if it was exactly the way it was explained in the meme. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, close enough.
I done drank
Yeah,
4
a lot
bottles of
people
water
died.
out this bitch.
I understand. Bladders. Donnell, thank you, sir. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Man, what are we gonna do? What do we do?
What are we gonna do?
I love you, man.
I love you too, brother. I
Yes,
love
sir.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you too, Jamie. I love you fuckers out there
Oh, yeah,
too.
tell them to listen to my podcast, son.
Listen to the Donnell Rawlings Show.
Yay.
Yes. Bye, everybody. All right.
Oh man,
We did it.
where the Corona bitch at?
Oh, she's here any second now. She's not here already.